we are alive. And as for your story points, you have 6. I spent a few on your Collider storyline.
Okay.
Yeah. So, would you like to scribe tonight?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
More absolute zero.
So Malin is going to be scribe. And I guess we can get started with the recap if you're ready, Uslog.
Yeah, this journal gave me a really hard time because I couldn't really hear the recording very well, so there might be some details like of things that like Xerxes and Guyvok said that might have gotten lost.
Was the music too loud, or was I too low or something?
Like the recording kept like cutting out in the
weird.
in the stream, or in the YouTube at least. So anyway, apologies in advance if things are a little confusing. And it was also an entire session of dialogue.
It's true.
So apologies for the length and everything. All right. It was the 59th of spring, the evening. Glenn contacted Guyvok with no warning. After some tense moments, it became clear he hadn't been possessed, except perhaps by madness. If letting a Shadow Lord into his head wasn't bad enough, he told us he had suggested an in-person meeting with the Shadow Lord, which would require a temporary host. When asked why, he said he had to see if he could convince Guyvok to stop trying to get to Nightweather by draining thousands of souls and trust us to stop the cataclysm ourselves. Both Estrella and I tried to tell Glenn and Malin, who seemed thrilled at the idea, that nothing good will come from negotiating with Shadow Lords. I explained more in depth what happened to Xeris when he let Guyvok in, but Guyvok claimed that he could not fully control Azatian. According to him, Xeris had been easy prey because he had turned out not to be a true Zatian. False Zatian? I'm not sure I believe that, but it is scary how reasonable an explanation it was. The perfect answer, as usual. I grew frustrated with how little stock they put in my opinion on this, considering what they know of what I have seen and been through because of the Shadow Lords. They at least agreed to consult Xerxes. I doubted he would do much to dissuade them beyond telling them what I already have, but sure, ask him. Glenn saw I was upset, and after breaking the connection, he tried to apologize. But I was done. I had to think. I had to go hit something. I took out my frustration on the training dummy in the next room, trying to get a hold of myself. I was disappointed, frustrated, and afraid. If the meeting itself doesn't result in us losing a member of our party to the Shadow Lord, then the decisions we make based on it could very well lead us down a path I cannot tread. Glenn came in then, blade drawn. I tried to ignore him, I was still trying to collect my thoughts. But instead of talking as I expected from him, he challenged me to a match. My heart wasn't in it, but with the help of some cheeky taunts from him, I accepted, if only to buy myself time. As I swung at him, the faces of Xeris and of Grella flashed before my eyes. People I cared for and had to harm or kill because they were no longer the people I had known. I don't want to risk that again. Glenn was getting good, though. I was brought back to present when he shielded my second strike with a new trick and got past my defenses with a flourish. Impressed, I found myself smiling a bit despite myself. Instead of attacking again, he asked for my thoughts. The fire rising in me had cooled a bit at this point, so my words were calmer than I expected. How does he do that? I told him my fears of Guyvok poisoning the mind of whoever hosted him. And if the meeting was to happen, I didn't think Malin should be the host, despite and especially because of his willingness. Malin's desire for more power, regardless of how he chooses to use it, is a major weakness for Guyvok to exploit. Glenn agreed and explained that he intended to be the host. There are a couple of reasons I don't want that to happen, but I simply offered that the Raven Queen might be able to give me some extra resistance should I be the host instead, as much as my very soul rejected that idea. Glenn reminded me that God's favors have a limit, and something like that might weaken my connection with her. That is, if she even allowed it. Glenn expressed that taking this upon himself felt like a step towards redemption for the things he did in the name of the Blackwaters. I don't know what they made him do, and now isn't the time to ask, but I've seen that it weighs on him. This didn't change my mind that it was a bad idea, though, especially because this itself was something Gaivok could exploit if he somehow accessed that information. I understand that Glenn wants to try to solve this with words, to find a peaceful solution based on common ground shared. It has always been his first tactic and something I admire in him. But this time, I don't know if that's going to work. Glenn is also concerned that the trap we found in the library is beyond our ability. I still think if the Rune Masters did it, we can too. But he is right that it's not a permanent solution. It's just I need to believe that if a Shadow Lord can be destroyed, we will find a way, after we trap him and stop him from harming more people in the meantime. I certainly don't mean to leave it for anyone else if it is possible. But that was enough for one day. Glenn apologized for not giving me fair warning before contacting Gaivok, and after a few more words between us, I turned to cleaning up the mess I made of the training dummy, and Glenn took his leave. 60th of spring, morning. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. The confrontation between Yali and Malin was stressful enough. I still needed to follow up with both of them about that. Then Glenn sprung this decision on us, all that on top of the fact that I was still reeling from him admitting he had feelings for me, and from finally opening my heart. I now realize I opened that door without checking for traps. I was brooding over my untouched porridge as we all sat together for breakfast this morning when Xerxes arrived. Glenn told him about the conversation and potential meeting with Gaivok. Xerxes, as expected, warned us that we were playing a dangerous game. I've been hearing that from those more knowledgeable than us a lot lately, or we've been. He advised against this, even with the less than trustworthy information about Zatian being able to resist being controlled. Despite this, he told us the choice was ours, and he would support us whatever we decided. Before continuing our debate, we picked his brain, including asking questions about the stolen Nightweather platform and what to do with it should it be recovered. Xerxes told us he knew some locations where it would be secured, and advised us to bring this information to the Phoenix Guild, who would benefit from knowing much of the information we have gained and could assist us. With one last warning not to trust any of the followers of the Red Wizard, aka Gaivok and Malik, Xerxes sat back and awaited our decision. In the end, it was clear none of us were changing our minds on whether we thought this meeting should happen. Estrella and I remained against it, and Malin and Glenn for it. Boulderbottom had his say and agreed to it so long as it was a temporary thing for the purpose of a discussion. With the tie broken, there was nothing else to do but decide who was the best to serve as his host. Estrella suggested it be someone who wanted this the least, and Glenn took that as her volunteering. That was not what she meant, but she would have the best chance at resisting should Gaivok attempt to take over. If this happened, I would prefer it to be me or her rather than Malin or Glenn. So I offered myself as well. We voted, and Estrella was chosen for the role. She wasn't happy, but I think she knew if she didn't do this, it would happen anyway. Seeing the battle was lost, I insisted we take this elsewhere other than the sanctuary of the Raven Queen, and Xerxes offered his tower. I left to speak with Yali to inform her of this and get some reassurance. I expected her to warn of repercussions from the Raven Queen for this, but though she was concerned, she told me that as the Raven Queen's avatar, I had more leeway than most followers, so long as my intentions were ultimately to stop the Shadow Lords. That is a given. I left with a blessing from Yali and lingering doubts. Once Estrella returned from her own reflection and communion, Xerxes transported us to his tower, where Glenn contacted Gaivok once more. After a moment, during which I assumed he was talking with Gaivok mentally, Glenn extended the connection to Estrella by placing a hand on her. I could see her grit her teeth, but she did not resist, and when she opened her eyes, they were black with shadow. Gaivok was disappointed we had not brought him to Gaien for this, and mused for a moment at being in a Rune Master tower. When he saw me, Gaivok smiled at me with Estrella's face and greeted me like we were fucking friends. I spat at the shadows that had begun to slowly drift across the floor from Estrella and said nothing. Glenn opened by stating once again our common goal, stopping the cataclysm. He informed Gaivok that as Zatian, we could get to Nightweather without needing to sacrifice thousands of souls. He asked that Gaivok trust us to accomplish this without more death. Gaivok insisted that we would not stop the cataclysm, as our kind never has in any of the other 12 cycles. He could not share why. He suggested the Red Wizard could tell us why our kind never stopped the cataclysm, seeing as Xerxes wouldn't tell us, even though he knew. Xerxes has already told us there are things he is unable to reveal to us, that included, so it didn't faze me. Glenn tried to assure him that we were resolved to be the ones who do stop the cataclysm, despite what our predecessors have chosen. Why does Guyvok want to end the Cataclysm so badly, I wondered. Why does he care what happens to Gaion? What does he gain? At this point, we all heard Guyvok's voice in our head, Cersei's not included, asking us not to resist. I figured the others would let him speak, so I didn't resist either, as repulsed as I was by it. He told us Cersei's was not our friend, and working with him would not end well for this cycle. It never has. He guaranteed that the Red Wizard was our best chance to end the Cataclysm. With that, a seed of doubt and distrust in our most powerful ally has been sown. Cersei's broke the connection before much else could be said. I might have missed something in there, though. Malin brought us back to the negotiation, bringing up Malik. Guyvok informed us, as we already knew, that Malik stole from him. He doesn't know what Malik is up to now, but he let us know he could help us with research on ways to capture Malik, so he could get back what he stole, if we take him with us. He told us we could find what research he was able to do while inhabiting Xeris last, and told us to look in the upstairs library at Aldern's Watch, hidden between shadowy arcana and beasts of the astral sea. Look for the small switch. He also mentioned siphoning power, which we would need for him for, but I actually didn't hear much of that in the recording except for those 2 words. So I might need clarification on that. I don't know if Guyvok even knows how to capture Malik or how much he would allow us to know, seeing as we could use the same knowledge against him. I feel like we would just be giving him an easy way to take advantage of us, should we work with him on this. Glenn asked Guyvok to call off his cultists at the very least, seeing as that was the reason for us meeting here in the first place. However, Guyvok cannot contact his followers directly, besides he saw no benefit in that for him. Estrella pushed through and told him our primary issue with him was his destruction of cities and sacrificing of souls. She asked him to stop, but he insisted he needed to continue that work. Since he doesn't trust us to stop the cataclysms, he still needs to get there by his own method. Glenn offered to extend further trust to Guyvok, if that would help convince him. I, for one, think Guyvok needs to be the one offering more proof of trust here, seeing as we trusted him to inhabit our companion for this meeting. Guyvok suggested a longer-term host that would allow him to travel with us to the material plane, like I knew he would. Glenn then asked us to keep an open mind for a moment and offered to find a weaker, non-Zatyan vessel for him. Wait. What?
Alright, thank you for the recap. You can get an extra inspiration point for that. But it is the 60th of spring at 10 a.m. when we'll pick back up the story. So let's see. A few housekeeping things. We do have 5, so does someone want to do Raldo? I know Glenn was playing him. Would you like to keep playing him, Glenn?
Sure.
All right. So, what else? There was something else. Oh, a little other thing, Glenn. You would be getting requests for more information on what the group has been doing. Would you be sending those regular reports to the to your superiors?
I would. I would probably obfuscate them a little bit. I probably wouldn't give all the details, just more general stuff of we're gonna stop the Shadow Lords. They're going into the we're going into the Shadowfell. I probably would have used that as an excuse to halt communications. Been last one probably would have been planning on going to the Shadowfell to chase after some cultists. Don't know when next communication will be. Communication extraplanar is, I won't be able to do.
So they are using sending, which they know is a 5% chance of not working, so they know that would be a lie.
Okay, so if that's the, knowing that, I would just give kind of brief, vague things. You know, like
All right. Well,
found a sect of cultists, you know, working to smoke them out, and you know.
so I kind of updated the thread we have in Discord. If you want to just mark in there the things you're obfuscating, just so I can refer to it later, that would be helpful. Just so I know like what your people know and what you've kept from them. Like I have it in
Well,
writing.
I mean, I don't really know what I'd keep from them. That's the thing. It's just uh, because there's nothing like right now that I think of that's like, oh man, I don't want them to know that this happened.
All right, so
Because
you're just
ultimately, if
telling them
they're
everything.
well, actually, no, I'll think because I wouldn't want to say that like the Zation stuff and like going to night weather.
Yeah,
Like,
you
okay,
don't.
so yeah,
Well, yeah, you don't have to.
Cersei's, no mention of Cersei's.
You don't have to write it like this moment. Just like maybe before next week
okay,
or something. Just so I
yeah,
have
I
kind of a
can.
record, so I know story wise, like what they know and what they don't know.
Hey, where do you want me to put that then?
In the Discord under the thread you started, Rescue Glenn's Children.
Oh, okay,
I
gotcha.
did an update for that one.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it now.
So all right. Anyway, so yeah, it is as I said, the 60th of spring at 10 a.m. Glenn just kind of dropped a little bit of a bombshell saying we should give the Shadow Lord a non Zation host. There's kind of silence. What do you want to do?
We're still
Well,
talking
as in,
to him, right? Or
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
I
all
suppose I could just say, wait, what? So, yeah.
oh,
you're all gathered, speaking.
Look, I mean, it can't be that hard. We might even already have one as a prisoner, in in the prisons here somewhere. But if not, we come across these dudes all the time. It shouldn't be too hard to knock out occultists and just give and let Guyvok inhabit the body. I mean, these people are already beyond saving since they're doing Shadow Lord shit, and like obviously, some little pissant cultist isn't going to be exactly that hard to kill if Guyvok betrays us.
uh, wait, why couldn't he do this beforehand again?
Because I think it's because his form is substantiated, so he can't like reach out and communicate with people. Like people have to communicate with him. Like he's only able to communicate with me because like I opened up a link with him by sending.
But why didn't Arden just go to him and you're like, here you go?
That's a good question. And he turns to Estrella / Guyvok.
He says, I'm actually surprised the sending spell even worked. I don't think. I don't know if my cultists could have accomplished this. Maybe it has something to do with your heritage. But you were the only one who contacted me during my reforming. Whether it be because they didn't try, because they didn't think it would work, or just because they couldn't, because they don't have your abilities. I don't know.
So you haven't been talking to Arden at all.
He says, I didn't think it was possible to speak with anyone when I was reforming. Estrella says. I've never actually had that happen before. It was a bit of a surprise when Glenn was able to reach out.
Look, and Guyvok, I mean, I just want to ask you. I mean, because I haven't, me and my companions haven't agreed to it. It was hard enough to get them to agree to do this, but if we let you inhabit the body, some pissant cultist, I mean, would you trust us then? I mean, like I said, would you help us stop the cataclysm another way than what you're doing? Like, I'm all for the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I mean, I've had to make some hard choices like that before in my time working for the Empire. So the weight of the decision isn't lost on me, but like the scale in which people are needed to be sacrificed to get this done. There's another way, and I feel like, you
Give
know,
me. Or sorry, go ahead.
I just say we owe it to explore that other way.
Give me a persuasion.
Ally Guyvok.
Just
This
ally
is it.
guy fuck.
The number of people who have to die to make this crystal is pittance compared to the number taken by the cataclysm. All the time and the generations of knowledge and the technology and the magic's lost. He says.
And what do you care about those people and those souls? Like,
He says, "What do I?
you of all people.
What do I care about the lost of the cataclysms?" He says, "Because we could be doing so much more if we didn't keep getting everything reset. Can you imagine how powerful our empires would be if we still had the technologies from the Tharians or the Raylans or any of the other lost societies?" He says, "We would be gods, or at least close to it. But we keep getting put back in the mud. It's like something is just tamping us down every time we start to reach potential. 2,000 years is not enough." He says, it's almost like it was done on purpose. And it vexes me. It always has. Give me insight checks.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Alan's like watching a fly. It's like, what? Oh, yeah, totally. So while you do believe him, Glenn, you think there is maybe more to his devotion that he's not talking about. He says, look.
Would I be able to get any insight as I'm like listening to me have this conversation?
Yeah, sure, you can roll too. You're kind of in control, like
Oh
you.
shoot, I'm not even in the right game. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I didn't think I saw you in here.
Oh my. Okay. Never mind. I guess I'll be a minute.
He says, look, I don't know, I haven't met many of the Zation, but I do feel like maybe I can trust you. If you give me a host to inhabit, perhaps I can get the cultists to stop their machinations, at least for the time being. It's not like we have to worry about the cataclysm in the next 100 years.
Yeah, if you could do that, man, that'd be really helpful. We don't have to chase those bastards all over the place and stop their bullshit. We could really focus on, some actual good stuff.
Well, I mean, yes, I'm for this, but this is gonna sound a little funny coming from me, but we're not exactly winning that much. I mean, we wrecked. He's literally only in control of the shadow cultists. That's the only ones who would respond to him. And we wrecked their big plan. They don't have any more big plans, at least for the next little while. Really, it's Malik who's been doing everything in Gaian, not him. So.
Are you talking to us or are you talking to Guyvac?
I'm talking to the group. Like I'm
Okay,
talking to the
because
group.
he's still listening, right?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm saying.
she's standing there just listening.
I was just making sure because you keep saying him and so.
Yeah, no, I'm just, yeah, I am using that tone with him.
Well, I couldn't tell you what the Children of Shadow are up to. Perhaps you have foiled all their plans. But there are many different sects of them, probably all up to different schemes. I wouldn't be so confident.
They seem like cockroaches, man. He's like, yeah, we'll kill a queen over here, colony over here, another one just fucking pops up somewhere else and wants to sacrifice another city.
He says, those are my terms, though. If you're willing to give me a host, I can talk to my followers and get them to delay their actions for the time being.
What about you? Would you delay your action?
Well, I'm curious to see what you all come up with. But I would have to know more about your plans, and unfortunately, I can't really know those because they would. If you are going to night weather, I don't know if I can follow.
From what I've been told, from what we've been told from
But
Xerxes, at least, it doesn't sound like you can.
he says, but you would have a reprieve. I'm not saying I'll keep my people at bay until the cataclysm happens, but I'll at least agree to keep them at bay for the time being. The war between the Midnight Pyre and the Children of Shadow could end for a bit. Perhaps it would give everyone time to plan and come up with their next moves without the death of innocents. He says, I
What do you
myself
know?
might try to look into more magics that could accomplish what I need.
What do you know of the Rune Master Towers?
The Rune Master Towers? Are you talking about the Therians?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Therian Towers.
He says, well, there's only one that the Rune Masters possessed, and it is one of the Towers of Nightweather. Or at least I would be almost certain of that. And he kind of looks over at Xerxes, who is still remaining stoic. He says, there are 7 of them, aren't there, Xerxes? Xerxes doesn't answer, just keeps looking at him, or her. He says, yes, the Therians have one of the 7, and obviously you've been invited into another one. He kind of motions to the area around him. But if you're asking me what I know about the Nightweather Towers, only what I see before me now. This is actually the first time I've been inside one.
You've never dealt with the console or gone into the
Hello.
He says,
yeah,
during
hall.
my time when I negotiated with the Rune Masters to give me souls to create crystals, I always did it from outside. I would never risk going into one of these towers um, on my own accord. He says there's probably many different ways they could have trapped me or had me at their advantage.
I give Glenn a look like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
He says, well,
He
this is
just
just a connection. I don't think there's a way you can at least permanently trap me in here. Making his insight check as you look to Glenn.
he kind of just like he looks at Malin with his face of like, way to go, like, way to be obvious, Dunderhead.
Wait, what do you mean? I was just saying, I was like, he doesn't know everything about the tower. Just saying.
And out of curiosity, who's here in terms of your NPCs besides Xerxes? Anyone, or just you all?
Did anyone want to come?
Maybe Raldo, because he was part of the voting process. But
Yeah, I think it was
Alright,
just
so just Raldo.
yeah.
Raldo is taking it all in. Alright. So, what do you think? Will you allow me a vessel?
Random side question, real quick. If we allowed you a vessel, I hesitant to ask because the rest of my companions probably think I'm an idiot already. But I feel like if you don't know the answer, you might be one of the only people that could learn the answer and actually tell me the truth. And kind of looks over at Xerxes, not with like an annoying look, but it's just like, these people we met. Xerxes and Hollowhand obviously know a lot more than they're telling us. And just the and the excuse of like, oh, I can't tell you is starting to get real old real quick. But he says in the Rune Master Tower, I'm just gonna call it that because that's kind of I've always called it. It was before we learned that there was a whole bunch of other towers, and they were way older than the Rune Master. In the hollow, the soul of a girl has been fused or trapped there from civilization cycles before the Rune Masters even existed. And I want to know how. I don't know. I can't shake for some reason my interaction with her. It was odd. I can tell you more about it if you'd like, but nobody really knows how it happened. And everyone that I've asked that knows anything about the tower seems to say that it should be impossible.
He says it really should. That's fascinating. The Hollow has some interesting origins, and someone in her position should have been destroyed. If one's soul becomes that trapped and one is not a construct, like a demi.
And it's almost like she has split It's almost like there's like a split personality of her. There's a child version and an adult version. When I tried to ask a little bit more deeper questions about what happened, her voice kind of changed as it was almost an older voice of hers, and basically told me not to pry, and then she
Did she give you a
abruptly
name by
disappeared.
chance?
Did it was a while ago. Do you remember? I don't remember the actual
Let me
name.
look through my notes. Was it Linra?
That sounds familiar, and I want to say it's. I can't remember. I
Yeah,
think it
it
was
was
like from like the
Linra.
4th cycle.
She was Osarian or something, right?
Orsis, yeah.
Orsus, yeah.
Orsis. Yeah, so yeah, Linra from Orsis.
He says,
Yeah.
well, as much as I hate to agree with Xerxes, that would be, well, I thought something like that would be impossible. The strain on the psyche of someone who gets detached from their body, there's no way they should last even more than a few days. Yet this girl would have
You
been there
did.
for many thousands of years.
How
What
did
did
the
you
Shadow
say?
Lords do it?
Well, I mean, we didn't detach from our bodies when we went in there. We
Oh, I
still
meant
had
in
a.
general.
Says, well, I mean, you can connect to it, but still have your body as a base for the soul and your energy, your spirit energy. But
I meant more the fact that you have survived during times without a corporeal body and didn't lose
so
yourself.
Estrea's voice is cutting back and
Right.
forth with his. He says, the Shadow Lords are, well, are a little bit different from more, normal people. But it's different being, I mean, even when we do get detached from ourselves, we are quickly shunted back to the Shadowfell because we need it to recombobulate ourselves. Or else, like any spirit, we might just turn into some kind of undead ghost or get stuck roaming some outer plane if we were shunted through the normal process of the Raven Queen. So, uh, the Hollow works a bit different than a normal death. And yes, anyone who died while in the Hollow or was sucked in, there's very little chance, at least I've never seen it happen, that they wouldn't last more than a few days. And that's like a good scenario. So to last many thousands of years, there must be something strange about this little girl. Because the Orsis Empire is quite a ways in the past. One of the
Would
first
you be
few.
willing to research it?
She may even be older than me. Well, she is older than me. Would I be
Sorry,
willing to research it?
yeah.
He
If
says it
we
would be an interesting
send you along.
project. I can't promise it would be my first priority, though. He says it would be more of an interesting anomaly, as it doesn't really do much to help stop the cataclysm, which is my first priority.
He nods. He looks to the rest of the group. Well, I mostly said my piece, unless somebody else wants to say or ask something.
Uslug just looks very conflicted. Moment.
Do we have any guarantee if by providing him a body it doesn't just bring him back fully?
It certainly helps him in that direction.
Well, that's why he did offer the Satyan.
Give me an Arcana check, Eli.
Oh.
Oof. All right. Never mind.
Magic? Never heard of such a thing.
You had one job.
Now Eli's like looking at the fly. What? What's going on?
I'm watching Malin watch the fly.
Yeah. You're both watching the fly.
The effect
Eli's just trying to
compounding.
catch up on all this.
The effect is compounding.
I mean, that would just be my only concern, is you just accelerate his return in his power.
That was the objection that both Australia and Uslag raised.
Well, how about let's have another. I think we've said our piece. I think he's laid out his terms. I think we should have another discussion, and then we can we can come up with a final answers.
Well, Xerxes would say you would more than accelerate it, you would bring it about immediately.
You'd return to full power if he had a host?
Yes, that's what I mean. Part of the Reformation process gives him the power to take a host again. If you give him a direct connection, then he will have that host. He might still be weakened in other ways, but I mean, he'll be in the world again and unfettered, untrapped.
I mean,
Well,
That's what
happens,
remains my concern.
Well, what happens? He takes over Zatyan, but he can't permanently control Zatyan. So Zatyan says, "Okay, I've had enough of you. Bye bye." Then what happens?
We only have his word on that.
Okay, what do you propose happens, Gaivok?
He was watching the fly. What exactly are you asking me?
Okay, well, if he
Or
takes
she.
over Zatyan, but it's not permanent, Zatyan says, "All right, I've had enough of you. Bye bye." Then what happens? He's going right back to the void, or he's like, "Well,
Says,
He's
well,
permanently
if I
latched on.
become shunted, I mean, let me think for a sec. He says, if I was shunted off the Zatyan, if they decided to no longer accept me, then he says, well, I could either choose to detach from them or I could remain attached. He says the ability to shunt me off is not something that's guaranteed. I just would not be able to control the Zatyan as I would a normal host. He says there might be ways
Fair.
of getting rid of me. Most of my hosts didn't want to get rid of me, even the Zatyan I inhabited. So, no one really looked into it.
I was with you guys when it happened, but he turned to Uso. You guys fucked him up before, right?
Well, we fucked up his host, which was very
Okay,
unpleasant.
well, okay. So if we just again, if we give him just some random pissant cultist as a host, their host should be weaker, and we just fuck him up again.
Well, we weren't just fighting the host against the host's abilities. We were fighting him. But, yeah, so it's not an easy fight.
Yeah, but we're like
Not meant
you're
as a
much
compliment to Gaivok.
stronger. You're much stronger than you were back then, right?
Yeah.
Says, is your
But-
plan to kill whoever you give me as a host as soon as I tell the Children of Shadow to stop?
No, this is just if you
Fail
be an
safes.
asshole again.
Says, oh, if I
We're going to need lots of fail
if I
safes
become a
if this is happening.
pain or if I become a detriment to you, how easily can you shut me back there?
Yeah.
Says, well, I mean, Uslag has fought me multiple times. She knows the sort
Yeah.
of things I can channel.
And you have detached yourself from your host when they no longer served your purposes. I've seen it happen.
Who are you speaking
And
of?
where did you go after that?
Xeris?
Yeah. Yeah, when we refused
Oh.
to
Well, it just as
to-
I think you guys made a Arcana check on this last time. You know that if his host dies and he's connected, it's more of a blow to him, and it takes him longer than
Right.
Yeah,
before.
that's
But
Yeah.
what I was kind of thinking.
but
about,
if he
yeah.
like disconnects and leaves, then it's not as bad.
Well, he disconnected. She would tell the story like how he disconnected, willingly, like he just kind of left Xeris at one point when we refused to do something he wanted us to.
Look, let's have a group discussion. I would like to go investigate that little book, that anti Malik book that he mentioned is in where's that place again?
Aldrin's Watch.
Yeah, in Aldrin's Watch. I'd like to go find that anti Malik book, and I think we come back and come back. We could come back to you.
Says, well, I'm not doing much, so I'll be here. Not in Estrella, but within the essence of the world you're in. I don't know if this would work if you were in Gaian, so you might have to be within the Shadowfell for the sending to work.
Okay.
That's yeah.
He says,
Do we know if the host has to be human or humanoid?
A squirrel. What do you think about that?
He says,
A cute kitten?
I haven't tried to inhabit a beast, but I imagine
I would never do that to a kitten.
Still use my abilities in such a host. It's not something I would do normally.
I was more thinking of like a homunculus or something.
He says, I don't think I can inhabit a construct. I think it does have to be a living thing. Perhaps a homunculus might work, but again, it's not something I've ever tried.
Talk to Orin about that.
It's much easier, or I assume it's much easier to channel my abilities through a humanoid host.
Well, we mostly just would need your mind for our purposes.
Well, is there anything else you wish to ask? Because I assume you are not doing this right now.
No, we need to have another discussion on this matter. This is quite a lot.
Says my offer remains open, but I will say that over time I'll come back anyway. So this might be a chance for you to show some trust in me, and perhaps for me to develop some trust for you. He says, whatever you do, I hope that you truly do wish to stop the cycles. And with that, you would see the shadows kind of pull back into Estrella as she shakes her head and her eyes are normal again.
Ugh. Ugh. I need a
Are you
bath.
okay?
How do you feel?
She shakes her head a bit. Do I feel anything different
well,
or odd? Or...
You feel like the
Xerxes?
connection's been severed. Nothing feels different. Other
I think
than
he's
that.
gone.
Xerxes, you want to check her out just to be sure?
He says, I don't need to. I can sense that he's disconnected from her.
Okay.
Slurp would come over, like, in his ooze form, which he rarely takes, and, like, slime her affectionately.
He says, while you may, Xerxes says, while you may find some of his offers enticing, I would suggest not allowing him to re-enter the world early. I think it would just give him more of an advantage to carry out his horrible goals.
I agree. From everything Ustag has told us, and nothing in our conversations with Gaivok these recent days has changed this impression that giving him a host or aligning with him in any way would simply hasten his return to power.
Boulder Bottom says, it's a doozy. There is
Yeah. On
possibly
one hand,
benefits to
yeah.
having the Shadow Lord as an ally.
But is he truly an ally, even if he is working with us for a short time?
He says,
Ever
of
heard the
course not,
phrase?
but he could
Ever
still
heard
be
the
useful.
phrase? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer.
Yes, but actually aiding your enemies in growing power or in reversing the effects of what Osog and her allies, did to weaken him,
Well,
is a whole other thing.
as Glenn said, we can, if we choose, we're not going to choose like a, well, actually, well, we obviously I think we still need to have a debate on we choose to give him a Zatian or non-Zatian, but I mean, having him quite literally close by, I mean, what safer, what safer form of, obviously, it wouldn't be as safe as him
Could he
staying in the
not use
void.
that position? Could he not use that position to help ensure that we do not discover any information that we might have otherwise come upon that we might use against him, and continue
Like,
for? We've been searching for various ways to trap the Shadow Lords, as we know some before us have done. And
I have the recipe.
you
I
have
found the
a
recipe.
you have a ritual.
I mean, look, I honestly, like, if we had other ideas, I'm sure we would have done them. Versus, he didn't even, he straight up offered the ritual, obviously, for his self-serving purposes to go siphon off Malik. But we can literally all of a sudden just find a book how to take down, like, not take down, but an ant, like, a book that can be used against Malik. Like, it's not. I would agree with you. If we had other options, we could explore, but this is not only do we have we kind of reached the end of our creativity, but this is like been done by other Satyan. Like,
All right.
we're
Well, anyway,
we're
what I
over.
was okay. Anyway, yeah. I hadn't quite finished what I was
Oh, sorry.
saying,
Go on.
but that's fine. It's I it's basically I don't think that we. It's clear that a number of us are perfectly willing to give up our own bodies, perhaps, to for this Shadow Lord, and I just think it's a pretty bad idea. I think you are playing into his plans.
Well,
So
I'll take us. Okay.
Xerxes would look over at Glenn and say, I was curious about something. He seemed to do some sort of magic during the conversation that cut me off. What did he say to you when I couldn't listen? Or did he say anything?
Do we know? Could we tell that he was cut off?
For a
Yes. No.
moment, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He
Is
said,
Glenn not
"Don't
here?
tell Xerxes. I'm saying this."
Well, if I know, then I would absolutely tell Xerxes.
Okay. Yeah. You could. Yeah.
It's when he said, Xerxes is not your ally, don't trust him.
I mean, it's exactly what any two parties would say about one another in any conversation
Xerxes
like
and the
this.
citizens of Nightweather. Is what he said. So you said you would tell him that?
Yeah, I mean, I would blow it off. I'd be like, same old thing that anyone would say in any case. Where two sides are hoping that we choose one way or the other.
Says
One says
yes.
not to trust the other says not to trust the one.
Bit of an obvious ploy. Someone who's been responsible for so much murder and death. It's a bit It's a bit strange that he would try to get you to not trust me. Are you
Is
there,
it really
Glenn,
so
or did you step
strange,
away again?
considering what?
Just wondering if Glenn is here or stepped away again, or what's going on. Because he didn't say he was leaving.
God damn it! It's too early for snack run.
Glenn. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, what do you want to do?
I mean, let's. Well, while we're discussing this, let's go back to the midnight. Or Aldrin's watch. Sorry, let's go to Aldrin's watch and go fetch the book. Like that. That is like insanely invaluable to go and find such a book. And then yeah. I mean, we're gonna.
Yeah.
I guess talk
Sure,
about it.
she,
Let's
Yeah,
give some
there's
time
a
to
lot
do
we
this.
need to discuss.
Yeah.
Xerxes will nod and say, "Well, I'll be here when you wish to make the trip home. I believe you said you wish to bring your clan Uslag."
Those of them that are willing to leave.
Yes, it would be most grateful if we could also, return to the other tower because we have some of our camp there waiting us.
He says, "Well, if you tell me where the other tower is, I can bring you there.
And I think, Oslag, I think we were planning to settle your
Although,
tribe somewhere in the northern part of Teruvia, yes?
I'm
Right.
guessing,
Yeah, we hadn't really discussed that far. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
yeah, I'm guessing if the tower is powered, you can also use the hollow to get back to it, as long as
Speaking
you."
of power, do you have any that you could spare? As I understand, our tower was a bit low on it. We, I think, have
Oh
one
yeah. That's
one
right.
battery in reserve, but
Yeah.
He says, "I only actually have one power source that powers the tower.
I see.
I don't have access to any more, at least not here."
I assume yours is an arcane and not a soul crystal. Your power source.
And he says, "Yes, well, actually, it's even more of a backup power source. Usually the towers, well, at some point during the cycles, they return to night weather and regain a lot of their energy. The arcane crystals do exist as a backup, but I mean, the tower should be able to operate with the energy it absorbs from night weather without need of the crystal. I guess the Rune Master one never went back for some reason."
I see. And the other 5 towers, are they on the material plane or scattered throughout multiple planes, or?
He says, "I don't actually know the locations of the others or the current fates of their keepers, and that's kind of by design. The different stewards of the towers, in case one tower is compromised, don't want the others to be able to communicate that easily."
Interesting. And are you tasked with being the keeper of this tower, or did you take over this tower after it was lost or abandoned?
He says, "This one is mine, one I have had for a long time."
I see.
At least over, yeah, a good amount of time. He says, "Well, you have the well, I can come and get in touch with you. Just use ascending and let me know, and I can open up a gate back into the tower once you and your people are ready."
Very good.
Yeah, go to the black market.
He says, "Again,
Yeah,
I would highly suggest you ignore a lot of the Shadow Lord's offers and find your own way." He says, "Where do you wish to go for now? I can send you."
Aldrin's watch. We're going back
The
there.
black market.
God damn. We'll be back to the black market. We got a bunch of stuff anyways. What more do you need?
I need to get a +1 rapier and a +1 sin.
Oh, for God's sake.
Alright, so he will kind of wave his hand as several runes on the tower light up. and you are suddenly standing back within your sanctuary.
Okay.
Which
Well then.
I have to find. Oh yeah, Shadowfell.
We've obviously that's a lot. Let's take some time to think this over. In the meantime, how we go about finding a super hidden book that no one has found?
Well, we check the
Well,
upstairs library
yeah.
and look
Follow his
between
instructions, I
shadowy
suppose.
arcana and
Maybe.
beasts of the astral sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some detect magic and some careful investigation for traps. So while
To
we're
the
at it.
library.
Meanwhile,
Fun nerd.
I have a question. So, Uslog, you've told us the story of finding Gaivok in his prison and following that thread to the ritual of how the Rune Masters did it. But my other question is somewhere between the time that Gaivok and Malik parted and became at odds with one another, somewhere it would have been in the 12th cycle, before Gaivok was trapped. Between then and when you all encountered him in possessing that Blackwater noble, what do we know? Why is there little known of him? Like, is it possible he too was trapped or slowed or conquered in some way that we have not yet discovered?
You mean Malik? Like how much we know of Malik?
Yes.
There's
Like
very little
that's
we found out.
That's one, depending on when in the 12th cycle Gaivok was trapped, it could be anywhere from 1200 years to 2 or 3,000 years that we heard nothing. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
I guess I was wondering if we could do anything to try and investigate what how Blackwater came to encounter Malik and Malik came to possess him. I don't know.
Right. Sadly, that wasn't something we ever found out from Blackwater because the entire time we knew him, he was Malik. And he wouldn't tell us, obviously. We didn't find out until Isik that he was Malik, and then at that point, we lost contact. So
I see.
and Blackwater wasn't really in much of a state to share.
So as you're talking, Leroux would come into the room. She says, I thought I heard the people speaking of your return. Says, how did it go?
We gotta think about it.
Well, it didn't go as terribly as I had thought.
Estrella
which is
shudders.
saying something. We still have you here, Estrella, and you're still yourself. So I consider that a positive outcome.
Agreed. I'm grateful for that, at least.
She says, so.
But yeah.
Or go ahead.
No, she was just gonna say, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Well then, what are our next steps? Have you decided what you're going to do now that you have this information?
Go back to the black market.
Okay, we're gonna
Well, we're gonna do some shopping and some reading first.
Yes, there's a lot to think about.
Oh.
We've spent a lot of time talking it over. We need detox a little. We need to.
Well then, I mean, if there's something needed in the library, maybe Eli and I could go look for that.
All
Is
right,
this
well,
research?
listen, we're all going in the library. If you want to go spend some one-on-one time with Eli, book another appointment somewhere else. We're in the middle of a mission here.
She says, "This has nothing to do with one-on-one time. I'm just thinking that we are, at least Eli is the most intelligent and knows how to use the library the best. We're probably the most effective at research."
I concur.
I go to Glenn and just nudge him, say, "Hey, I can't say anything though. That's 10 out of 10 flirting."
What?
Well, what?
I was like, okay, never mind. We're all going to the library.
All right, let's go.
Is somebody trying to fuck Eli?
Yeah.
I think Malin is like, I guess, hoping so. Apparently.
Who isn't?
Or he just kind of like puts a concerned hand on Malin's shoulder, and he just kind of like leans in, like, "Is everything okay with you and Diddy?"
All right, that's it. All right, I'm going to the library. Somehow
Alright.
you've gotten more denser than me, and I just like walk off.
So if you
More
all,
more denser, he says.
so you're all teleporting to the Aldrin's Watch, I believe it's called. Or sorry, yeah, Aldrin's Watch. And you go to the library he spoke of. And I guess it would just be int checks if you're just looking around for the books.
Okay.
Can I find like use his instructions with like, finding the specific books and
Damn
the
it.
switch between them that he
Didn't
described?
give us exact, like exact.
Yeah. Yeah, that I heard in the recording and I noted it.
Yeah, he gave you the kind of location of the bookshelf. Yeah.
Right. All right. So no perception checks. It would have to be. Intelligence
So Eli would
investigation.
find it pretty easily, being that he's used this library a bunch. And you would find the switch there. And if you pressed on the switch, a small panel behind the bookshelf would open, and you see several books and scrolls and like just pages back there. Looks like a little hidden alcove.
Oh,
I'll just
that was
start.
easy.
I'll just start taking things out and just handing them to people.
Yeah, I just help him. Like, all right, time to start reading.
Yeah, this looks like gibberish to all of you except Eli, because I don't think any of you have Arcana. Maybe Glenn, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trained, but I've got jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Drea is trained.
So yeah, you're thinking this might be an Eli project.
Would it take just Arcana or would it take Intelligence?
It would be Arcana.
Okay, because
Intelligence.
Estrella is trained and she has a +6.
Oh, and Arcana? Then yeah, you could
Yes.
also look it
So she
over.
could assist. Yeah. with that.
That's
Sorry,
why-
was I not coming through? I said it like 3 times.
No, I didn't hear it.
I feel like
Alright.
I feel like a bard being able to help with Arcana is like because of jack of all trades, I feel like it's like somebody that watches sub anime and is like, oh, I recognize a couple of those Japanese words.
Yeah, I mean, that is similar. You'd like recognize something here or there. So yeah, anyone with Arcana could research this. If
Well, I'm sure Eli's got this, but I guess I could stick around and help find
Oh, I should have
passages.
Arcana. Why don't artificers have
this is-
Arcana? Why don't?
this is a very magical thing. It would depend on the level you took your artificer levels, what skills you
Most
have.
of them are. Because what did I take? I don't have sleight of hand. I don't have that. I took perception. Don't have history.
Because I think your skills are based on the class you take at first level, along with a bunch of other stuff.
I'm
Like
pretty sure
your-
it's artificer. It's mostly artificer. Like, for all my multiclassing, it's 10 levels of artificer.
You may have
Yeah,
built
when
it with
did-
the hunter
When did you
first.
take it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many levels you have. It matters when you took the levels.
Like, what are your
When I
saving
built the
throws?
Because yeah, your first level
Dexinant.
determines a lot of stuff. Whatever you take
okay,
at first
Dexinant.
level.
So it's not. Okay, it's not. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because you don't just suddenly gain a bunch of the other. I mean, that's or else like multi-class would be ridiculous.
No. Okay, no. I thought I took it first. No, if I'm Dexinant, then I probably took Blood Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, do artificers only learn 2 skills, or do they learn like 3 or 4, like rogues or bards?
I'm not sure, but if he didn't take it at first level, it wouldn't matter as much.
Hold up, Blood Hunter also has
'Cause-
Arcana.
I don't think when you multi-class, I don't think it affects your skill proficiencies.
I think if you multi-class into something that starts with more than 2 skills, and you start at something with 2 skills, I think you get the difference. Like if
No,
you
Blood
start
Hunter
with-
gets 3. So I took survival. I took.
Well, you can look into it. We don't have to
Yeah,
figure
I'm
it
gonna
out
work
now.
out. Sorry. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, so if you all want to help research, then Eli, Glenn, and Estrella, you can all go off to the side with Lareau, who looks a little annoyed, and Eli to go read through this stuff.
Annoyed.
I would just kind of go through pages and books and mark passages for like Eli to inspect a little closer, because I know he's got a little more arcana training, like a little more he's a little better at this, being a wizard. But yeah, like she's definitely like applying her arcana knowledge to kind of try and like recognize passages that might be important.
Yeah, Glenn and Astra, with their like ridiculous insights, would know that she wanted some alone time to speak with him and do this. But all right, so go ahead
Just
and
gaslighting me.
give me Arcana checks from the two of you. Glenn's just kind of hanging out. Oh yeah.
I'm chilling here.
Damn.
All right. Well, without the +3, I assume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess. Well, it only lasts 10 minutes, so yeah, that's fine.
All right. So time's passing while you're researching this, kind of sitting in the library under candlelight, reading all this stuff. Is anyone else doing anything? Let me know.
I mean, I'm also extraordinarily interested in reading this stuff.
So you're all. I mean, you could be hanging out there with them.
Well, I guess I'm peppering them with questions until I figure out if I actually have Arcana or not. So I'm just peppering them, like saying, "Well, what about this? What about this?"
All right.
You force us to be at disadvantage.
Yeah. Just
Right.
keep distracting them. What about Uslog?
She's mainly just trying to gather her thoughts. She would be interested, like, if they bring up any, like, interesting points, but I think mostly she would kind of be pacing around and just working through some thoughts in her head.
So a lot of this magic, this ritual, is more about drawing out the energies of the Shadow Lord than actually trapping him. Like, this isn't actually very useful unless you have Gaivok.
Does it tell you?
Probably strategic on his part, what he showed you. If he has other
Does it say?
information, then yeah, it's not here.
Yeah, gotcha. Do we find anything about like if we do draw out the magic, how we might contain it, or dissipate it, or like what can we do with the magic when it's drawn out? Like,
Well, the
Well, I think Gaivok wants
ritual
it.
is to transfer it from Malin into Gaivok, which would make
Okay, so
sense
next
because he
question.
wouldn't want to.
can we modify the ritual where we take his power but don't give it to anyone?
Yeah, that's what I'm also wondering about.
That would be a lot more detailed and would probably require actual research, like a week, as if you're doing a downtime project.
That is this is one of the most paramount things for us to do, honestly.
I think that that's worth the downtime, and maybe even bringing in any of our allies that might be as good with Arcana as Eli.
Would we be better off researching that in a place that might have more information or is this book enough? Because
Do we know of a library that might have what we
I
need?
mean, we know of a few libraries.
So,
One in the
Eli, you would know that this library probably doesn't have much more information that could be useful on this subject. Anyway,
So we could try another.
Are we thinking like Tyvanus or what else? What other great libraries do we know?
there's the capital. There's Orin or the Zalora library, which we
Oh.
never.
There's our own library with the forbidden, Rune Master stuff.
Mhm.
I'm quite curious on if we cross-reference this ritual and the one the Rune Master used to imprison. Are there any similarities? Because for some reason I feel like there should be some similarities in the ritual.
Or some way to maybe modify one with the other, and
it could be something you spend lore on. Again, though, it would take time. Yeah, you think the Devaldia library might have something. The Tyvanus library could have something. New Havisgard might have some private collections that could be of use. Maybe some of the other You would guess it's more likely you'd find the information in the Shadowfell somewhere, but that's not necessarily guaranteed.
If we did return to Gaian, visiting Tyvanus might not be a bad idea. I understand, Uslug, that you've fewer allies on that plane than here, or at least powerful ones, and perhaps we know enough at this point that we could go to the Phoenix Guild and see whether they might not aid us in any way. They're pretty powerful.
Uslug nods. Yeah.
Do we want the Phoenix Guild knowing? Do we want anyone knowing that we have this ritual?
Oh, I'm not saying that we have the ritual. I'm just talking about our quest overall against the Shadow Lords, the encounters that Uslog and the Foxgloves and the Splitlanders have had against the Shadow Lords, our workings here in the Shadowfell against the Children of Shadow, the fact that we have some powerful contacts here now that are working with us and understand the threat. If we could gain similar, more powerful groups on Gaian, it can only aid us in the future, I would think. We needn't give them all our secrets.
Right. We would have to know that we can trust them. We don't have a lot of interactions with the Phoenix Guild, at least not in history with my former group.
Boulder
So
Bottom.
I don't know what to expect if we were to tell them.
I guess Boulder Bottom isn't here. Never mind.
It was just a thought. It might give us resources to be, in with more groups of regulatory councils and governments and like whatnot, like we've done here.
Okay.
All
Well, This is definitely, we have to keep going into this.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn. We can go do your shopping trip now.
Can't remember how much +1 weapons were.
Who is there anyone of the Midnight Pyre or Uslog's clan or any of the people that we've got kind of living and working and staying in Aldrin's Watch or the Twilight Sanctuary who is particularly bookwormy and brainy?
I mean, there's Rune. She's probably
We
a little
sent her
busy.
to the
She's in
the Zalora.
Debaldia right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she'd be a little busy right now, probably.
I just thought if we're going to go to the market and we're going to spend the time searching, is there someone I can take with me that would make me... Was it investigation? I forget. What was it? Because I remember I did really poorly when we did this before.
The market is persuasion.
Oh, it's charisma. Okay.
Yeah,
Can I take a charismatic member of the Midnight Pyre with me? Hey, buddy, come on a field trip with me. I need someone to carry my shopping bags.
Go. Ask Glenn very nicely.
Well, as I
Well,
had
but no,
said,
but I want Glenn to be able to spend his time looking for his items.
Well, the market, as I said, you can buy uncommon magical weapons without spending a week.
Yeah, that's what.
So you would just have to
assuming I can
buy
do
them.
that, I will. I mean, I'm more than willing to help you find a magic item.
Okay, if it doesn't take like an actual downtime roll where you have to focus on yours and you can just buy any stuff of the uncommon.
Weapons. Weapons are
okay.
things that are easy to find in the market.
Yeah, but that's just it. Yeah, I was hoping to look a little deeper, but okay.
Yeah, I can. We can get my +1 weapons, and I can help you.
No, it's fine. I mean, it depends how much time we want to spend. I just was trying to duplicate our efforts in the same amount of time or something.
I'm all for giving one last shopping roll and seeing what we find.
All right, let's do it.
So how much to get a +1 rapier and a +1 scimitar? So I want to make sure that I can, if we fight the Shadow Lord, actually hit him.
Oh well, the
wants to make sure he does good in front of Uslog.
It's not a requirement anymore that weapons be magical to hit things. At least in the 5/5, there's just damage resistances. So unless you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, yeah, any weapon can hit anything.
Still better to have magical, though.
There are things I think that gain immunity, but again, it would have to be to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Okay. Well, still, like I said, +1, it would help either way. And if I'm eventually going to transition over to a swords bard, I need those. How much are uncommon +1 weapons in general?
All right, so you're heading over to Devaldia to look for these in the Shadow Market.
Yeah.
Now, you had someone get you in last time. Do you remember who that was?
Right. It was our silent circle contact that we made that had been following us.
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
And we had gone in a few times. I would hope that they would know us by now.
Well, you just don't know how to get in there. Because they changed the
Is it
location.
Adenia? No. Was it Adenia?
Didn't Laurel know how to get in contact with them?
Who was it?
Sending.
I feel like it was Adenia.
No, it wasn't Lareau. It was, to find her. It wasn't Zalora's. Yeah, it was Adenia.
Okay.
She was your silent circle contact.
I would just cast sending and be like, "Hey, what you doing? Need help getting into the black market?"
She would say, I can help you. I would just ask for 50 pale coin as a fee for my time.
I would respond, "GG done. Meet where?"
All right, so you use your
What?
use your teleportation circle to return to Devaldia. The clerics would allow you passage because you were friendly with the city. You go and seek out Adinia. We'll say she meets you somewhere in the city. You pay her the 50, and she will get you. So who's paying her the 50? That's Glenn.
When it's pale coin, I assume it would just come from our group amount. I don't think we're.
The bag of holding.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
overall.
who's minusing it?
Just-
Here,
It.
I'll pull it up. Yeah.
Someone has to do the math.
Okay, so we have inventory. Uh,
So while this is happening, Eli Leroux kind of says, "Are you going to back to Devaldia, or will you be here?"
I'll stay here and continue my research. See if there's anything.
She says, "I know
Or
you're
we can
pretty,
find-
yeah, you're pretty busy doing research. I was just looking to get some more lessons, as I know you might be leaving soon."
Yeah, we can spend some time in that.
She says, "You are planning to stay with the group, right?"
As of right now, yes.
So I know if you had other ideas, I could certainly use some of your help in all these investigations I'm working on within the Empire here, looking for the cultists.
Oh, yeah. That's something that we could discuss.
She seems surprised. She says, so you wouldn't be completely against separating from the group and staying with me?"
I think that always keeping your options open is the right way. We'll have to figure it out.
All right, give me a persuasion.
What the hell is that?
She nods and says, "Well, I would like to spend more time with you," and kind of brushes a bit of her white bang behind her ear, smiling.
Well, all the time. While we have the time, we'll do so.
All right, so instead of doing research, you're gonna work on her lessons for today.
Sure. Yep.
All right, so that's what you're doing. Back at the marketplace. So you paid the 50 gold and would be admitted to the Silent Circle. having to go through a different location. It seems like they moved the locations, probably to make it harder to be infiltrated. Let's see. How much would it cost? So you said you wanted a magical scimitar?
Yeah. Yeah, potion of magical rapier and a scimitar.
Okay. So you find someone selling a magical scimitar for 120 gold pieces, which is actually fairly cheap.
Pale?
Yeah, sorry, pale coin.
All right. I'll take that out of.
Yep.
Uslag's actually got plenty in her bag, besides what we have back at the sanctuary.
Yeah.
120, did you say?
Yes. And the scimitar, or sorry, the rapier is actually quite a bit more expensive. That'd be 620.
Yeah, we were absolutely loaded. This is.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so
The coin's only useful here.
you buy both of them. What else are you looking for, weapons-wise?
So we can get any uncommon stuff?
You can
Only
get
uncommon
any
weapons,
weapons.
unfortunately.
Basically plus
Oh,
one
weapons.
weaponry.
Yeah, so useless
want-
to some of us.
I wanted, like either the insignia of claws or Eldritch Claw tattoo.
Those you would
Insignia.
have to get the normal route.
Downtime.
Are we spending downtime, did we say, or we're just getting the uncommon weapons?
You'd probably try to get someone to craft specific items for you. You just need the recipes and time, because uncommons are not too hard to craft. I think it's only like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but can we?
I feel like we have a couple of recipes for.
Yeah, we do. It's
And you can also
just need
research
the components.
recipes. Just, yeah, again, given time.
Recipes. Here we go. We have broom of flying. Filter. It says filter of love, but I think that's something else. Like the word, like I think it's like that love potion thing.
Yeah, it's a
But
potion.
I think it's misspelled here. Potion of cloud giant strength, potion of fire giant strength, potion of greater healing, necrotic resistance, poison, water breathing.
Goggles of Night.
Recipe for the solution to dissolve force walls, schematic for goggles of night, schematic for ion stone of fortitude, schematic for lock of trickery, schematic for orb of direction, schematic for boots of false tracks, which I'm not even sure what that one does. So, some cool stuff, but not, I don't know.
Yeah, because we had one for. I don't know what happens to recipes after we use them. I'm assuming
You
we
still
can
It
use
might
have
them
be in
again.
someone's inventory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
recipes aren't like
Okay.
scrolls, they don't vanish.
Yeah.
So Boulder Bottom, who's kind of hanging out with the group, would say, so I guess I'm curious, because we haven't talked about it. Are we going to take the Shadow Lord up on his offer?
We should talk about this.
Detoxing. For detoxing.
Yeah.
We weren't going to bring it up
Oh,
for a while.
well then, just ignore me. You can carry on with your weapon
My impression
shopping.
is that no one's opinion has changed since before our conversation with him.
Eli,
So
you've
it's
been.
There's definitely a few points that
Eli's
can-
not here.
can be discussed.
damn it.
Yeah.
Eli's
Um,
back doing some lessons. Well, since you guys
God.
are having so much fun buying magical items, I guess his items are both magical, so never mind.
Okay, so we've got tons of pale coin. What can we do to, like? Is there a rare items vendor where we can I don't
Well,
know,
most of the magical
roll for the stock,
items,
or
it's more just, again, you just kind of roll the dice and hope that that week something of use is within the markets.
right? But it's the 5 days downtime just to do the one roll, right?
It'd be 7 days, yeah.
7 days. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, with the new rules, it's 7 days. It's a week, basically.
All right.
There's no weekend. You gotta spend all 7 days.
Bam, bam, bam. Working us to the bone.
Yep. It's probably going to be Glenn if someone's going to be looking for items.
Well, if we were gonna spend a week, then I mean, I would try, but yeah.
See you guys next month.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because, you have to be a certain class or skill set and you have to spend tons of time and it's just a vague chance.
Oh, we got an offer for either 2 rares or like what was it, 6, 8 uncommons. I mean, that was quite a generous offer. I mean, yeah,
Well,
yes, I was like,
I'm talking about shopping. I'm talking about shopping.
well, yes.
Obviously, making deals with people who have a bunch of magic items is a whole other story.
Right, doesn't Orin owe us something? Still.
We were going to trade
No?
essence with him. We haven't talked
Oh,
about
okay.
it since his
Cool.
family was
It was
turned.
Arden
He
who
might be a
was
little
there.
busy. Maybe now's not the time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we could. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I do feel like it's.
I don't. Yeah, I feel bad. He's probably in a very tough spot right now. So
Yeah, you haven't been
don't
to
wanna
see
bother
the
him.
Zalora since you left, but you assume he's still there with Rune and they're working on helping his family members.
Yeah, it's only been like a day since we sent the mirror there. I think.
Yeah, it's been quite a day.
Right. Do we have any magic items that we're still looking to offload? Well, I guess that are with us right now, because I guess that's.
I mean, but for what? Like, magic items, like, we would need them for trades, not for currency. So if we were to find an item, then yes, we could trade up. But
I understand that. I was looking to see if we have anything, but we
we
don't.
have
I mean, well,
plus one.
we have some basic stuff, but like, and we got some potions, one scroll, candles of the deep, which actually it looks like we've sold most of our stuff because the stuff that we do have here, there's a note that says keeping for situational planning, keep for creative uses. I have a note here. You're still playing. You're still carrying that cittern, right, Glenn? The Macfilmerth cittern. Maybe he stepped away again. I think we were looking to remove that from the inventory, but there's a note here like where we wanted to confirm if Glenn had it. Yeah.
Well, hold on. We have 1 plus 2 battle axe.
Where?
Well, I'm on the same tab you are.
Oh, I was scrolled down a bit. I see. Okay. Oh, I see. So there's 2 things marked for trade.
Didn't we have
3.
like
I
2
think-
plus 1 daggers? We had like
I think we sold or traded some stuff.
some stuff we gave to Thovik, but like we didn't give that much to Thovik.
I thought we did another trade after Thovik, but yeah, we did give a bunch of like basic weapons to Thovik, like uncommon stuff.
Yeah, we gave him 6. Wait, 7? Because that's how many people had to pass
Well, you
through.
kept trying to give him more. Like we had enough. We had what he asked for, and you're like, "Here, take this."
Wait, why that sounds familiar?
Raldo would say,
Well,
wait,
we had just raided
you
the
have
vault.
a plus 2 battle axe?
Yeah.
I could use that.
Oh,
You want
Says,
that?
Maybe
well, I
another
love
time. No,
my
I'm kidding.
my short sword. That is a one-handed weapon.
cool.
Do you usually carry a shield?
Oh wait, never mind. I forgot he's a Dex character.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the
never
bow
mind.
and
Just
usually.
I
kidding.
felt like we would have given it to him by now.
My
You know what,
dwarven-
though,
My dwarven
Raldo-
heritage. I'm not a good dwarf. I train Dex.
Next time we're hunting for cultists or something, I have some, or maybe something that could use a walloping. I've got these special arrows.
He says, "Oh, yeah, I could definitely try those out."
Yeah, he's got some walloping arrows from the vault.
Eli, we've got a
Awesome.
scroll of fireball here. This should go in your inventory, I think.
You have to give it to him when you get back.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I've had it marked, like I had that noted in
Well,
the inventory
do
for ages.
we,
It's just sometimes he wasn't here. Yeah.
Do we want to pass downtime, or do you all have something else you want to do? Because you told the Boulder, or you told the Suntooth that you were going to leave soon, or at least
Right.
like
Yeah. I
take
don't
them
think we
back.
want to pass a week.
Oops.
I mean, if you want to, maybe like have them go back and you stay here, but Just have to let me
Yeah,
know
Well,
how you're doing
I think
it.
we have some things we want to do if we go back before we come back here. So,
Mhm.
or at least that's the talk that we've had
Do we
previously.
want to take a week to try? I say max we take a week, and then we make the decision that we're going to do with a week should be enough to think about what we're doing with Guyblock, and then I mean one way or the other we're going to head back.
All right. If we take a week, we've got plenty of pale gold. I want to throw some gold at some extra people to help us with our search.
Does that work that way?
Are you talking about for magical items?
Yeah. Like you
Uh,
can pay extra people for help with research and downtime. Can you do that for shopping?
let's see.
Black market contacts and finding the vendors that have some stuff?
So you pay 100 coin up front to do it. After that, it doesn't say anything about it, but maybe like I'll say if you want, you can pay another 100 gold per +1 up to 500 extra. So 600 gold
All
you
right.
get +5 to the check.
Okay, so let's hire Adenia and any of her other contacts that know this market and that have contacts and have
Great.
them search for us as well.
Dinia
Guys, why do I
says,
hear the Brinks
yeah, I
truck?
can get you some people. We have
I
contacts
mean, I
around.
I hear a truck going on. Oh, that's the Brinks truck. Back it up.
All right,
She's
so
like,
if we each pay 600 for the week and spend the week downtime, then we would have someone helping, like an NPC also helping with our role and possibly finding additional items.
Yeah, do all of
Yes.
you want to do that? Some of you are terrible on charisma.
I'm not. Yeah,
I
I'm
will
not
do
part
that.
of that. No.
I'm
I'll do
terrible.
it.
I'm still doing it.
I mean,
I'll do it.
it's not, it's still, it could still get something, but you might just get uncommons.
Let's see what we can find.
All right,
Let's do it.
so
I'd be
let's
fine with
see.
uncommons. The problem, the reason that none of the uncommons, because you said weapons only, so
Yes,
and no,
for
and
weaponry. All right,
yeah,
so
that's so yeah. I mean, there's lots of uncommons that could be useful, and I'd be fine with finding something useful.
all right, so we are passing the week then.
All right, so how many
Fuck might do
people
other
are
things.
doing the shopping week so that I can subtract the money?
Are you all just living in Devaldia for the week?
I probably will,
Yeah.
because we
Okay.
still have the Zalora estate available to us, right?
I mean, you haven't asked. You could go back over there and see. They'll probably let you on.
Okay.
I'll say
Because-
it'll cost
guess-
you a gold piece a day, so 7 gold
Oh,
pieces
okay.
just for food and stuff. But
Times,
yeah, they'll let you
7 bucks?
stay at the guest house, or I guess whoever it was, the Zalora's the guard will go ask him, and he'll say, yeah, of course you can stay here. He's too busy.
So 35 gold for the week for the 5 of us.
Yeah, I guess if you're. Oh wait. They don't take gold. That's right. Never mind. This is a.
That's why I was
yeah,
like,
so you
okay.
could,
It's
you
communism.
could, yeah, you could just live here. That's right, because you are, yeah, you've done a bunch for the
Yeah.
city, so you don't have to worry about that. Eli, I assume you're gonna stay back, or are you helping with this too? You want to teach Adenia, or do you want to help with this?
Or we'll spend the week teaching.
Okay.
At Laro, yeah.
Or yeah, sorry, Laurel. All right. So let me do some rolling here.
And can I assume that we take the gold from the sanctuary with us for this shopping trip? Since
Yeah,
we're
you
going specifically for
can.
this reason.
We'll say you have access to your treasury for the purpose of removing gold and paying for stuff. All right, so I'll start with Eli because you're at the top of my list. If you're training her, give me an Arcana check first off. Okay. And if you want, you can spend magical things such as, well, I guess it would just be scrolls. If you have any scrolls you want to put towards this, will also help her with her training to make it more effective. Although they will
we
be
say we-
used. They'll basically be used in her training, possibly helping her learn them as well.
Does like the level of the scroll matter?
You probably would only want to use low-level stuff. Because, yeah, high-level stuff, she isn't even a wizard yet.
Okay. So I have a scroll of magic missile and a scroll of invisibility.
Yeah, I'll say both of those would be useful.
Okay. I'll take both
Give
of
me an insight check with advantage as well.
Oh.
Alright, so you would get the feeling that she's developed some romantic feelings for you. Is that something you want to pursue, or do you just want to keep it like more friendship / platonic?
We'd probably go friendship.
Okay. So,
Business.
just business. Alright, so she seems a little let down by that, but she's accepting of it. She doesn't seem like she's angry or, gets mean about it. Just a little bit crestfallen. She is actually a pretty good learner, and you are quite effective, giving her the ability to cast a couple of spells, including invisibility and magic missile. So let me edit her sheet.
Which is a sneaky rogue type. That could be helpful.
So she's now a spellcaster. Uses int. Those are probably good spells for her since she has meh in her int. And I'll say that also levels her up 1 to get that wizard level. So that would be +1 +5 is 6. Okay. So yeah, she's level 8 and she can cast invisibility and magic missile. Just add those to her sheet. Alright, her sheet would have to be the upgraded. Alright, I'll just give her the old versions. Magic missile. Alright, anything else you want to do during the week?
I mean, I guess Uslog doesn't really have anything to do here.
Eli.
So...
I'm still on Eli.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're going down the list. Don't skip his turn.
Oh, sorry.
Overzealous.
I totally spaced out.
No, I don't think so. Like maybe doing, confirming up the research that we've gotten everything out of what we've found so far. Doing a little bit of reading, but if that well's dry, then
okay, so just some reading on the side. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so just roll. Okay, so yeah, your week is pretty quiet back at Aldrin's Watch / the Sanctuary. As I said, Leroux kind of makes a couple of advances at you, but you quickly kind of just make her realize that that's not what you're looking for, and she gracefully accepts it, at the end of which she is finally able to start throwing some magic missiles, and she will even give you a hug and a quick kiss on the cheek and apologize and just kind of go about her day. Maybe you guys have some wine and talk a bit. but that's the extent of that. Next up on the list, Uslog. You are in Devaldia doing your market stuff, right? Black market.
I'm not sure how much use I will be, but if people would like me to help with that, she would.
I think Estrella's been just like throwing bags of money at everyone to go get stuff done.
All right.
So, do you want to do this, or are you gonna tell her, "Nah, I'm good"?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
She doesn't have anything else really to do with her time. She was gonna just kind of watch people's backs during it, so she'll as well while I'm, keeping an eye
Okay.
out for you.
Sure, no
Also.
problem. So,
Okay.
You poke around some market stalls while you're waiting for us and
Yeah.
anything nearby to protect us, and maybe you find something.
the Shadow Market certainly is bustling. It does remind you a lot of the New Havisgard Shadow Market. No spring though, unfortunately. So give me
No spring.
no hot spring.
No what?
Do you remember the hot
Oh,
spring
yeah.
of New Havisgard?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
nice. That was very nice. She would be very sad about that.
That
She
hotel,
could
the White
definitely use
Lotus,
a
yeah.
good hot
This
spring right now. Yeah.
this market's bigger and there's a lot more stuff to be found, but yeah, it's not as luxurious as the one there for whatever reason.
Okay.
Am I spending money for the extra person helping you, or?
I assume you
Oh.
are going to do the +5.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning to subtract it for everyone who wanted to
A
help.
shopping buddy.
So give me
All
a
right.
persuasion with +5. Or you just roll
Okay,
persuasion,
okay.
I can add 5 to it.
Alrighty. It'll be +5 -1. That's. Hey.
Oh, so that's a 20, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, give me a moment to see what that gets you. Okay, table D. Come on, where's table D? There it is. All right, so let's see. Give me a D4 roll first of all.
Maybe you'll get a javelin of lightning.
I could use more of
Okay.
those. It's not the last time I'll lose one, I'm sure.
Okay, so 2. So give me a D100 roll. 77. So you find someone selling a potion of cloud giant strength. Roll again.
Oh.
Nice, I'll take that. But yeah,
We have
D1, another D100.
Yes.
We have recipes.
You also find someone selling arrows +3, 20 of them.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
All right, Boulder Bottom. They just massage up his soldiers.
yeah. He wanted something from this, though.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I'll
let me
get that
see
for
how
him.
much these cost.
And
What's
there goes our
cloud?
bank account.
Right. We
Not
do
only-
we do have
not
the potion that we have is frost giant strength, but
Oh. Not
We have
only
a
did
recipe for. Cloud
yeah,
Giants.
we have recipe for 2 other giant
Gotcha.
strength potions.
Not only did we're gonna spend the entire Brinks truck, we're actually gonna have to sell the truck as well for this.
Who,
Yeah, we have plenty of
who
money.
still
Oh
hasn't
god,
shopped?
everything's so expensive. Let's
Who
see.
still needs to shop after this?
So the potion of cloud
just
giant
you and Eli have gone.
Oh, oops. I mean, do you all want that stuff? I mean, I guess you would ask, like, you know.
Do we have anyone who uses a bow regularly? Because I think those
Not-
arrows are definitely worth it. I don't know if the potion. I don't know, because I bet the potion's gonna be real expensive.
Alright,
Right,
so
right.
this is a
We'll see how much it is. I don't know.
this is a consumable.
Damage.
So the potion of cloud giant strength. That is going to be 15,000 pale coin.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to buy that?
How much do we have? again?
How much do we have?
Total all pale coin, we have. Let me go back to the currency. We have.
I won't touch the thing. You can filter.
Oh, those are bars. That's why. Okay.
You know what?
Total-
Sorry, it was 7,000, not 15. 7,000 pale
Okay.
coin.
Wow.
We've got 36,851 in pale. That's counting bars and platinum and everything.
My take is we can probably afford like 1 per person. Actually, I don't know. I feel like +3 arrows like.
That
Can
is
we,
not the
like-
+3 arrows. The +3 arrows are actually, it's probably about the same price. Let me see.
Yeah, I was like,
Those
it's
are also
probably gonna
very rare. Wait, +2 is.
So I might have to choose one because
+2
other people
is
need to shop.
rare. Yeah, +3 is very rare. So those arrows are going to be 6,500 GP, a little cheaper.
Well, then again, that's like if we all get very rare rolls, which I have my
Right.
doubt.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we get the roll, we might as
That's
well.
for 20 arrows, by the way.
I feel like we should still. Honestly, I think we should still go for it because like, we can always trade it off for another. It's like right?
If you
Yeah, I
think so.
mean, Cloud Giant strength is pretty good.
I think Cloud
for
Giant
a
strength
couple of
is
us.
absolutely.
So 1350.
Arrows.
Did you say?
Here, those are the things you found, Uslog.
Yeah.
The 13.
Oh,
13,500.
7,000 pale coin?
Yeah.
7,000 for the potion.
Oh, I thought the potion was 15,000, but the total.
No,
oh,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I made it too much.
Oh my
I
goodness,
think-
that's so much better.
So 13,500. Do you guys want me to subtract that?
Yeah, I mean, unless someone has a strenuous objection, I think we should get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because those were
both
some
of them.
good rolls. That,
Yeah, we might
Okay.
as well use those rolls.
probably the only time Uslog will ever succeed on a
Hey,
shopping trip.
quite-
So
Hey, great job. That's very, very viable.
hey, I'm good at more than just hitting things.
So, and as she says, as all the Silent Circle guys behind her are like rolling their eyes. She's like, I did this all by myself. I'm so good. And they're like, heroes.
Hey, that 15 is a pretty good roll on its own. Just saying.
Fair enough. All right. So, anything
How
else
long
you
I'm
were?
nothing.
Anything else you're doing throughout the week, Uslog?
Just kind of backing people up as they're doing their shopping, I guess.
Okay, so no like
Keeping an eye out for
RP or
danger.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, she'd probably chat with people.
Oh.
But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of RP later, so.
Give me a persuasion, intimidation, or deception check. Why do all your characters keep getting into fights?
Oh, right. Oh, am I talking to strangers right now? Okay, then I'll probably.
You might get into an altercation. I just rolled a random.
Oh, this is a random thing. Okay.
A random.
I mean, I guess
occurrence.
intimidation is more her bag. 'cause-
Stunt on them.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Search
she
for
felt
diamonds.
threatened by someone. Yeah.
You can use
Okay.
checks on this. Oh, all right.
Damn it.
I was gonna
Alright.
say you can use buffs. All right.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't have helped.
So you get into an altercation with someone who starts throwing fists. Do you want
Okay.
to respond with fists, try to run away, or pull out a weapon? Or like, what do you
Oh,
want
she
to do
wouldn't
basically?
pull out a
How
weapon.
would you,
Could she try to
handle this?
like, I think more of like like holding them back, like restraining them from
Okay.
from
So
hitting
trying
her,
to
but not actually harming
So
them.
trying
yeah.
to fight them, but not like knocking them
Yeah,
out.
until
or
they just like give
restraining
up.
them?
Just restraining them and just
All right. Give me an attack
Until they give
roll at
up.
disadvantage.
like, what the hell are you doing? Attack roll at disadvantage with
Yeah.
my unarmed strike.
Yes.
Unarmed. Do I even have a macro for that on my new sheet?
It would just
okay,
be plus strength plus proficiency.
Okay, so it'll be +9. Okay. I'm just gonna roll a d20 and then add 9.
Well, you gotta roll twice.
24.
It's
Okay. First one's
disadvantage.
24. Second one is 19.
All right. So you get into this altercation. Luckily, you are very good at fighting, so like you easily just kind of restrain them, kind of wearing them out to the point where they just kind of give up. Like
Are you done?
make some curses at you, maybe like throw a pint or something and leave. They
Yeah,
then
walk
get
away.
arrested by the market people. Arrested / detained. You don't know what happens to them.
Jeez,
after
what
that.
did he have to prove? All right. Should just...
All right, so that is all that happens to Uslog this week. Malin, you're doing the same thing, right?
All right, guys. Here comes the second Brinks truck. Like beep.
You're
Let's
doing
do this.
the persuasion.
Yes, I'm absolutely bombing this roll.
All right,
All right,
so
I'm
you-
subtracting.
another
I'm subtracting
600.
the 600. Yes.
Okay, so +5 again.
600. Yes, +5. I'm going to make a plea that's probably going to fail, but if I just spam Flash of Geniuses,
No,
like I
you
get
can't
5
spam
per day.
Flash of Geniuses.
Damn it. Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
So 22.
Ooh.
Let's see. 22. Okay. Roll a d4, please.
Okay. Moment of truth time.
Okay.
Remember when I said we were not going to get good rolls?
Give
It was like, there's no way
me
we run out of money.
give me 3 d100 rolls.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Shit.
So the first
Nice.
thing you
Ooh.
find.
Oh, oh, you might have found it very rare. I don't think we can afford it, but
Oh, we're trading in what we just bought. We're emptying out the entire inventory time. No, I don't think that's how it rolls. He's just referencing a table, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
I
at a
think.
table.
Oh,
It's
okay,
not
guys.
like it's
It's
not
not the rarity roll, yeah. Okay. That would be amazing.
So, like, don't later tables have... I don't know anything.
I think it depends. Some tables that work that way, and others I don't think it matters. Yeah.
Okay, so you got an 8th level scroll, a 9th level scroll, and sovereign glue.
Also, Uslog, did you record that stuff that you bought in your inventory?
I'll put it... Yeah, I have it written in, like, a little note thing for now, but I will put it in my...
No, that's fine. Just I want to make sure. 'Cause honestly, I think you should keep the potion anyway. So.
Let's see.
Yeah, and Raldo will take the arrows eventually, but I'll put them...
Sorry, I was drinking. I spit out what I was drinking.
Let's see. What's sovereign
Sovereign
glue?
glue.
I can tell you the prices of them. I just need to figure out the rarities. Oh, sovereign glue is very nice.
I you know, the first roll I found, like I looked up sovereign glue, and then on like Reddit, I see one of my players decided to chug sovereign glue.
Oh, that's
I remember.
I mean, that would be a valid thing to do for sure.
I mean, I already snorted some blackstone. So,
One
True.
ounce can cover a square foot. I know. It's a sorry that takes to utilize action. Once it is done, so the bond it creates can be broken only by the application of universal solvent or oil of etherealness. Or which, I mean, I guess this like leaves a lot of room for creativity, but
we're gluing Guybok down.
oh, he just
Shadow Lord to something
he'll just leave the body that we've glued.
just to troll. It's like
No, I'm gonna
legendary
glue
glue,
his soul.
bitch. Now you're glued
I
to
mean-
the floor.
So
Wah, wah.
it's like, so is the scrolls like? It's just.
I have to figure out the
Oh, what spell they're in.
spells. All right, so the sovereign
Elastic
glue
and good.
is going to be very expensive, assuming you can afford this. So that would be
God damn it.
Is
All
it full of
legendary.
wish?
All right, I need a calculator. My brain doesn't work. Before I just try to do the math in my head. Okay, so the sovereign glue is going to be 31,250 gold. Pale coin, I mean.
Mhm.
And what scrolls are we looking at?
These scrolls. Is there a way I can quickly generate scroll levels? Let me see. Okay, there is. So one of the scrolls is Mind Blank. The other scroll is Weird.
Weird.
Oh, like WY. Oh.
Those are
WYRD? Oh. Oh.
both, well, one's 8th level, one's 9th level.
And let's see, Weird is Warlock and Wizard, and Mind Blank is Bard and Wizard. So we have people that can use both.
Let me get you those prices.
Although, be better to get a Wizard one since he can afford it.
Oh, wow. Mind Blank sounds like a good one for protection.
Okay.
I don't know, Glenn,
So,
Eli.
Weird is going to be 37,500. Pale coin.
Sorry.
Hmm.
So I was like, guys, we're not going to spend all of it. There's no way.
And Mind Blank. That is a very rare. Mind Blank is going to be 10,000. Or wait. Yes, 10,000 for Mind Blank. Okay,
Honestly, I
straight
just
out
wanted
for me.
brace of defense. I didn't even want to touch it.
I know, I'm actually always a little disappointed, like, when I get consumables. Like, if I do actually roll some items, like, I'd like some, like,
Right,
Least
so
two
do you? I mean, you
legendaries.
don't have to buy these. This is just what you find floating
Yeah.
around the market this week.
No, that's what I mean. I just like I'd rather find
Right.
a bunch of like fun or useful uncommons than like high level consumables. um,
I'll say maybe
Eli or Glenn, any
Eli,
thoughts?
they could contact you about this using message or what's it called, sending. So would you say anything about this?
I mean,
You can learn both of them, but I don't know if either of them are like if you have the spell slot
We
level
don't
yet.
have the funds to get everything.
I currently I don't have 9th level.
You have 8th though,
I do.
and
You also have to remember the cost of it, like
Grabbing
it
it.
costs money to describe it.
yeah,
and to
true.
do.
But
So
I mean, I think that the Mind Blank is a pretty reasonable price if you think you would use the spell or would want it. But I don't know. Like, do we think we would use it a lot?
I mean, it would be me using my only 8th level spell slot.
To protect one person.
It's a very good
yeah.
protection spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you asking in character or out of character?
So next time Glenn is like, I'm gonna blah 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 your mind. Or I guess that wouldn't protect you from that, unfortunately.
We contacted Eli in character, but I think like we're kind of giving opinions in and out since it's party
Well,
root, you know?
In character, in character, Eli would just be like, it's a lot of resources to maybe cast a spell.
Mm.
It's It's only one type of damage.
Yeah.
It is conditional.
As much as I'd like to bring Eli and Glenn both back something from the market, well, I guess Glenn's shopping on his own, but as much as I'd like to bring it back, I
Yeah.
do think the scrolls are most useful for Eli, since he can
Yeah.
reproduce them, and so it feels like pretty expensive for.
Out of character, Mind Blank is mostly what I find I call a story spell. Like, it's really only useful in case there's like some story beat going on where one person is being scried or like tracked somehow.
Yeah, it's got its uses, but
Well, immunity to
So unless-
psychic damage and charm is not terrible.
yeah, we could go to the
No,
Astral
but-
Sea and face all the mind players, and someone would be
you
safe.
guys just go
And it's
try
for
to,
the
like,
whole
like,
day. But
You try to force
it is
normally
10,000
Malin.
pale coin, so.
But normally, like,
I mean-
using an 8th level slot that could be used for like illusory dragon or
Yeah.
some other.
Right.
Well, and I think that's what
powerful-
Eli was saying when he said it would be him using his highest level magic for if
Yeah.
he.
I was
you
just
know.
thinking we have so many things that like try
It's,
to get access to our
it
heads
is a
all the
utility.
time. So it's like
I mean, yeah, it is a utility thing.
You guys
It's
try to get it and
very
try to-
useful in specific situations, otherwise not very. It's
And
like
what about
uh,
the what do we
planeswalking.
feel? How do we feel about the glue?
I think you buy the glue, like, glue Malin down, then you try to force feed him Mind Blank to get rid of Surtur.
We get we get at least 2 uses and maybe more with the glue.
Really?
It's 1d6 plus 1
Yeah, but
uses.
that is all your money at that point, right?
I
Or
don't
most
think, I
of
think
it.
this is all useless.
I'm sorry, Malin.
Oh, the glue's 31,000. Jeez.
so expensive.
That's weird.
Now,
Now,
okay,
legendary roll.
If we ended up with 7 uses of the glue, that might be worth it, but it's all chance.
Again, that's also
Oh, imagine
very,
spending it all and then only getting
very
like
much a utility thing.
Yeah, it's fun, but I'm gonna vote against all these items, even though I really wanted,
Yeah.
Malin's rolls look so good, I was so excited for you.
Yeah, I was, so unfortunately this is useless. I'm also saying
Yeah,
chuck
it is very random. Rolling high gets you access to higher level things. It isn't necessarily the,
It's still kind of fun.
permanent stuff. That just depends more on.
And who knows? We might be back here. We could spend another couple days, gambling basically and rolling the dice for instead
Wait,
of getting
Maybe
Glenn's
later.
gonna get a high rolls. Well, actually, though, he's gonna get the persuasion high rolls. We don't know what
Yeah.
the D100.
Yeah, we have no idea what other items we're gonna find and what level they're gonna be.
All
Alright,
right,
chuck it.
so we'll keep going then. Let me just check something else for Malin.
Can I have a small side conversation?
Oh,
with Surtur?
jeez, why is everyone in your group getting into fights? All right, Malin.
Oh,
no.
How would you handle
But
a? Or go ahead.
I just want to really make sure I was able to get the rapier and scimitar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think she paid for those already.
I subtracted that money. Yeah, before we even started talking
So
about the
make sure
weekly
you
stuff.
add them to
Thank
your. Yeah.
Those
So
were small
Malin,
potatoes compared to these prices.
maybe you and Uslog both got into a fight at the same time. So a bunch of the friends
I
who.
bet Malin instigated it.
Maybe
Uslag was
maybe
just helping him out.
Uslog
and
was
made it worse.
drinking and Malin was behind her saying some shit, and suddenly they were both in.
I mean,
fight.
it's not. Yeah, it's not beyond maybe she's having a little bit of a time right now. So yeah.
I guess if this guy's friends came to jump you, how would you handle it? Would you go like Uslog trying to de-arm
Well, I
them?
failed the
or-
intimidation. Yeah, I failed the intimidation. So
Yeah,
We're not so
as you-
scary.
For some reason, none of you are intimidating this week.
Well, now I have to try.
Well, maybe
I
you'll
mean,
get
so,
into a
yeah.
fight too. Who knows?
That's what I meant.
I
what I
mean,
meant.
so if a group just tried to come out of their way to jump me, I'd try to crack a lot of bones.
All right. So are you going for subdual, lethal?
No, I'm not gonna kill them, but I'm gonna act like how Batman doesn't kill, but he's gonna absolutely leave
So
someone
you're
paraplegic.
just gonna all right. So you're gonna yeah. Okay. So you aren't above doing permanent damage, just not killing, or do you just want to subdual damage them?
I think I'll do I'm in the mood to do permanent damage. I mean, I will kill, but this is not the time. I'm just in a cranky mood. It's you fucked with the wrong guy.
All right. So subdual.
Yeah.
All right. Give me an attack roll.
Just my regular. I'm not gonna transfer.
Yeah,
this, so-
unarmed, because you're not punching them with the gauntlet.
Jeez, man. Okay.
Well, it would be without the gauntlets. So I guess
why wouldn't it be with the gauntlets?
because that would be lethal, generally. Like this would just be more you punching them with your fists.
I mean, we
You
would
use
take the
your
gauntlets
elbows.
off. Okay.
All right.
D20 plus just strength, right?
D20 plus strength and proficiency. I mean, I can use what you rolled. Oh,
I think
okay.
it's the same thing. Okay.
All right. So you get a little roughed up knocking these guys out. Do you have any money on you?
No, I actually gave it all off to Uslag.
Alright, let me check your sheet for a sec then.
But I do have some valuable. Actually, no, I do have pale gold bars. But yeah, I have
Which
30
we've
pale
probably
gold bars.
spent already, right?
Mm.
Or
No,
are we
I
just spending
think-
from the bag of holding?
You don't have much stuff, huh? Alright, I'm gonna say... because I don't want to steal any of your magical items. But during the fight, one of your pale gold bars gets lifted off you, and you're kind of a little bit beaten up, so you lose one of them. Because you did get some of a beating. These guys weren't like complete nobodies, but you did manage to knock them all out. You're not sure who stole your bars, but it wasn't one of them.
Oh, so
they-
someone else took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, they would all get kicked out of the market, though. So...
I would. Well, if I do, I think it was just like lost during the fight, or someone stole it.
You would guess someone stole it while you were distracted.
Yeah, I tortured them.
You're torturing them?
Yeah, I'm gonna torture. I'm having a bad day.
Like you're
Wait,
gonna follow them out of
wait.
the market and like, what are you gonna do?
Oh no! If I have to leave the market to torture them.
Yeah, they
Well, did I-
basically got kicked out.
Did I
Oh,
mishear you, Lou? You said that Eli or that Malin thinks it was not one of the people that were jumping him. Like
No,
they got lifted
I
while
mean
he was
he
fighting
probably searched them after, and no, none of them had
Yeah.
the bar.
them. Like someone, it was just somebody else took the opportunity while you all were
Someone-
fighting.
Yeah, while the fight
Get
was
out of
happening.
yeah.
Yeah, your unfortunately your passive perception did not catch it because you're not very perceptive. So do you want to do anything else about this, or would that be it for you?
Well, I was gonna say like if I after the if it was like right before they got thrown out and I realized it was gone, but
If you want, you can
It's
say
like
you got their names, and this can be a story thing for afterwards, so you know who they are and like can look into them.
sure, I don't know if I'll.
You don't know how you could find the guy who actually took the bar, though. Unfortunately.
That's okay. If I know their name.
All right, so you get their names, and that would be it for your week. So Glenn.
Oh, hold up. Sorry, I wanted to have a small conversation with Surtur.
Oh, sure. So during the week, you contact Surtur.
Yes.
And I'll say
So
Diddy talks to you a bunch. She's kind of hanging out at the market. She says, can't believe that someone stole one of your things. You okay? She kind of looks at some of the marks on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Those. They had to jump me, right? Obviously, if it was a straight up fight, I would have ripped their limbs off.
She says,
Are they
yeah.
even I should.
Sorry
Didn't
I wasn't
transform.
around. I might have caught glimpse of whoever stole your bar.
No, that's okay. I wouldn't want you in danger.
She says, I was a pretty powerful thief before I started dating you. I'm not often in danger. You're in danger a lot more than me, you lug.
I know, but I don't know. It's just I don't
Anyway.
want you to be in danger.
She says, well, anyway, I'll see if I can get any word on someone stealing a pale bar from a golem. And she winks at you.
My God.
I give her a peck on the forehead.
All right. So what is the Surtur? What are you saying to Surtur?
No, I was separately. I'd be like, so, I know
So
you're like
a different time, yeah, you
yeah.
go and talk with Surtur.
Yeah, I look, sir, I know obviously you're god of destruction, chaos, and whatnot, but I mean, I'm curious. The fire giants, who all worship you. I mean, you are also a smithing god, are you not? The fire giants are known for their smithing and forging. No?
You're gonna make me look it up. Oh, is that the guy who destroyed what's it called? Asgard? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Surtur D&D. It's like a bunch of the Marvel movie pictures. Okay, here we go. What's Surtur all about? Forge Knowledge War. Okay. Wait, is he lawful evil? I've been playing him wrong?
Don't tell me this entire time. No, he has to be chaos, right?
It says lawful evil. Maybe he isn't as chaotic as I thought.
Well,
I mean, it would make
I mean, a
sense.
god of destruction?
Maybe,
And like,
maybe in
like the
my
way
world he's a
flames
little
dance,
different.
I think chaotic.
That's it. We'll
say
we've
he's
been
a little
playing him as
different
chaotic.
in my world.
We've been playing as chaotic.
So maybe the Forge, Chaos, and War, and he says, yes, of course, the fire giants are renowned for their ability to smith. My people make weapons far past the quality of these tiny nothings. By the way, you should have killed those guys. Strewn their intestines all over that place. Then no one will fuck with you.
I honestly don't know why I held back.
Says because that group of yours is a bad influence. I mean, I guess you would have gotten kicked out of the market, but sometimes you gotta let it be known who's in charge. Anyway, why are you asking me about smithing?
Well, I mean, I was, I am, an artificer, and my previous, in my previous life, whatever that was, I was quite a good artificer. I was just, I guess you're curious about some of, some projects, or learning some, some of the works that were done by past.
Says, well, I have some pretty crazy things I can help you enchant. But you would have to have the recipes to make the original item, and I can add my own little spin on whatever you make. I can work through you to help you craft better. It says, if I unlock some of those memories, it might help you out. If you want to take me up on our original deal of becoming more indebted to me.
Look, I mean, not that I'm not even opposed to being in some form of debt, but I mean, look, even if we let's be practical about this. Even if let's say, well, like for best case scenario for you, I just turn big evil and go against the group. I mean,
as well, I didn't say I was going to make you turn on your friends.
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm going to the extreme, right? Most of they're crazy suspicious, and they would go and try to halt even the slightest movement. I don't have much wiggle room.
It's not like I would just have you completely lose it all the time. He says, I am a god. I can be strategic in my destruction. Well, in any case, as far as smithing goes, as I said, if you have some recipe you wish to craft, I can help you create something that is higher quality, or at least give you a better chance of doing so.
How good are you with? I mean, yeah, that's quite interesting, but I also am curious how good. I guess I've lost some of my Arcana knowledge. I must have been good at it. I do want to regain some of that. There's a lot of knowledge to be gained from that book that Guybok has given us against Malik.
Possibly.
Or how to imbue shadow crystals into oneself.
He says, if you want, I can search your memories and see what I can find.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll say you can spend story points on this if you want to put a story into the Discord, but you probably would have to trade one proficiency for another, as your mind would become altered. And it's not something we'd resolve now. So just
Okay, yeah, we'll talk it over. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Glenn.
The one who wanted to shop. I'm subtracting 600. Although I bet your rolls will be fine no matter what.
It's true. Do you want the 600, Glenn? Or has he stepped away as well?
No.
Alright, I'm guessing he stepped away. So, Astra, you first. What are you doing?
All right, so I am subtracting the 600 for Estrella. Do that right now. Minus 6 would be 590. 5994.
No, we can't hear you, Glenn.
Oh no.
Well,
Maybe leave Discord and come back and see if you.
Yeah, well, I'll get to him after you.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead and
Yeah.
do Glenn. He was the one that wanted the shopping trip. Go ahead and do him.
I think he
You're
just
done,
wanted
fine.
the weapons. But sure.
Yeah, I'm in.
Glenn, do you want the extra 600 or the extra 500 for a +5 to this roll?
In Palecoin?
Yes, it would be.
I've been paying it for everyone, just to give you a bonus. If you want it.
Or do you just want to make a persuasion check normal?
What's the DC on the persuasion check?
Well, there's no DC, but depending on what you roll is what magical item table I roll on for what you find. So higher is generally better. If you get really high, you might get a very good permanent magical item. But you can also roll low and get like a rare permanent magical item. It just depends on the table. So it's kind of random.
Yeah, we'll do the +5. That's fine.
Okay.
Alright,
I
so
subtracted that.
600. Go ahead, give me a persuasion with a +5. Okay, 33. Let's see.
Give myself to get at least 35.
Okay. Give me a D4 roll. Okay.
Oh, look, he found the Holy Avenger for sale. Holy Paladin.
Just laying around.
Somebody get a level in Paladin
Curious
quick.
about something.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you can get. You have to roll really high to get some of these tables. It's like, Jesus, how could you even roll that high? All right. Anyway, sorry. Give me 2D100 rolls.
Oh my god.
Oh,
God damn.
only you were rolling for.
If only that was a wish list roll.
Yeah, honestly.
Jeez. Like,
That's
Oh.
painful.
rolled 100. Choose whatever item you want.
No.
We wouldn't be able to afford it. If you chose a legendary,
No.
we wouldn't be able to afford it.
Oh, we'd have to just.
We've got stuff we could sell.
At
Yeah,
this
that's
point,
true. Maybe we can figure
Give
out what's
me. Okay, 38 was your second one.
yeah, look, if it popped a legendary, at that point, I'm popping mass suggestion.
the...
Nice.
For what?
to convince the
Just
price.
swindle his
To
way into
convince
that.
the random
There won't be
guy
any
who's
consequences
the
for that.
in-between man that you should get this for free, and then he goes back
he's
to
going to
like.
suggest. He's going to suggest that our gold bars are platinum bars.
I would suggest that he takes me to meet the seller,
Oh,
I would suggest that he like, give it to me.
interesting.
He's grown too powerful. Oh no.
Or I could use modify, and then I will modify their memory to make them think that I paid for it,
This is an
which they have
interesting
disadvantage on
series
because
of
my
events here.
This is Glenn's rise to villainhood here.
Yeah, it was a
Him
lot
out,
easier. He just had to be exposed to a legendary item. He's
Him
like,
out.
yeah, I'm a
Like,
hypocrite. So what?
it wasn't even for his class.
He's like, I want it. Give it.
I don't know why, but
All right. So one of the items is a dagger of venom.
Ooh, that's the poison one, right?
It is. So this is only a rare. Let's see. Okay, that's gonna be 12,000.
It's kind of cool looking.
So dagger of venom. That's 12,000. The other one.
That's expensive. Like if we had a rogue or somebody that was dagger based, like I'd be
I
like
don't
all
even
about
recognize
like
this one.
it's so pretty though.
it
It
is.
in it. The DC is only 15. It's a con save, and
Yeah.
it's like
Like I like having extra like items like uncommon and rare items like that don't require attunement, but like I don't know that this is worth 12 to our builds, you know?
The second one is something called Wings of Flying.
Ooh.
This one is 18,000.
18 did you say?
Yes. Which I'll put them up in the chat in a moment.
Cloak.
Oh yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, wearing this cloak, you take a magic action and turn the cloak into a pair of wings. Wings last for an hour or until you end it. They give you the fly speed of 60 feet. If you're aloft when the wings disappear, you fall. When the wings disappear, you can't use them again for 1d12 hours.
So it's still at least once a day and no concentration.
It could be twice a day, depending on what you roll in the
Right, it could be
D12.
more. That's why I said at least, yeah.
It is attunement, but yeah, no concentration.
Oh,
How
attunement.
How much do we left?
We have a good bit left, because we didn't buy any of the stuff you found.
Right.
We
What does
have
it take to attune? It takes an hour to attune.
You can set your attunements by spending a short rest. So during a short rest, you can attune or unattune to whatever stuff you want.
Yeah, we've still got around 33. I have
That's
to
kind of my rules that I use.
33,000. Yeah,
By Rot, you can attune to one item during a short rest, but I think it's kind
I wasn't
of
including
lame.
some of the. There was some bars I missed that were at the sanctuary when I give you guys the total before. But after what Uslag spent, we're still at 33,000 ish. Pale.
I think it's
I
worth.
mean, the only thing is that, like I said, upcasting fly, you know, can also make multiple people fly. And Eli, do you have fly or no?
I do not.
I think the key here is attunement slot. Like, is there
Yeah.
anyone who would spend an attunement slot on this?
Well,
That is
I
the
wouldn't use it.
question.
I would not
Yeah.
use it.
I wouldn't
Well,
use
yeah,
it.
you have the boots.
I wouldn't.
Exactly.
It'd probably just be for someone who doesn't have flying.
But if someone did have the attunement slot available, then non-concentration fly for as long as this lets you fly could be really strategic. So
1
that's
hour.
why I asked.
mean-
if there's, yeah.
I would like to posit that it's better just in general just to have it, like just in
Yeah.
case for reserve.
If I had to, like if we felt like we needed, something where I would need to fly,
Flying Uslag
like I
is
can
pretty,
get rid of the
scary.
gem of seeing temporarily.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get it done. You're right. It's a good one to keep in our pocket
Just
for
to have,
strategic planning. Yeah, I think I'm good with spending 12 on it.
18.
18.
Oh, 18. Ooh,
Daggers
ooh.
fly.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
but
is
yeah.
little, just
What
for
does
something to
everyone-
have.
Yeah, what does everyone think?
On
I
it.
think it's a valuable strategic item, but I'm not like set on getting it, and I don't think I
can't-
would use it.
We
I
can't
rolled
haggle
pretty
it,
high
huh?
on the price. Did you say can you haggle it?
Yeah.
You can trade but generally you can't haggle for these.
Would they
So,
like a lovely bell branch?
if you want to trade some magical items you have to like lower the price, you can do some.
+2 battle axe.
Yeah, you can put that up if you want. See what it'll reduce the price by.
No.
We should trade up. The +2 is like on the same level. I would keep.
Well,
And-
what if I, took that battle axe and I said, how about we trade you a +2 very powerful battle axe that was used by the avatar of the Raven Queen herself, Miss Uslog.
I mean, all these things are pretty, magical and awesome. That's why they cost so much.
Well, I know, but were any of them used by the avatar of the Raven Queen?
I mean, you can make that offer to the guy you're trading with, and you can bring it back to his seller/buyer.
It's all like secondhand.
Because you never
or
actually
second-
meet the people selling this stuff. This is done through the market.
Probably like rich people and they're selling on consignment or something.
I honestly, guys, I think we should try to trade up because, like, again, because of the value of having rare items, we should always have it like in our pocket. Like, if we're spending a rare, it should be just try to get a legendary or very rare.
We're never gonna get a legendary for a rare. What?
Well, no, but like, but if we, let's say right now, like, if we wanted to actually go and buy one of those legendary items, we could have gone in and put the battle axe in as one of the things we trade in.
Part of the
It
price.
wouldn't even make a dent. If there was a legendary item, it would have been valued in like the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Honestly,
the
I'm
sovereign
fine-
glue. That was legendary.
Yeah, the
but
sovereign glue was legendary.
I
to
mean,
get a high
Something
level
you wanted.
legendary, you have to roll like a 45 persuasion. I was just looking.
Holy shit.
I was
So
looking,
I
I was
am
like, some of
fine.
these things
I
are
am
pretty
fine
high.
with trading the bell branch or the because we have 3 rare magic items that I don't know if we what.
Can we like augment that persuasion roll?
I don't. Well, I mean, you could work together to basically both
Then,
roll.
like, Yeah, I meant like if I had, because if I had somebody else roll persuasion, could we stack it? Could I like bardic them and then somebody guidance them?
Well, you got the
I tried.
+5 for people helping. I mean, what's the
Yeah,
highest
also
you
that's
can
where we
roll?
get-
Well, also the week-long roll you can't use
Yeah,
short-term effects on, right?
yeah. There's just because of like how easy it is to like get really super powerful resources. So you would have
But
to
now
roll
you're
like
gonna
a
get
nat.
45 then.
Well, if you had like a like level 20 bard who rolled a nat 20 and had a bunch of people helping him, he might. Right?
Yeah, I've got because I'm level 15 and I have expertise. And the
I mean, it's
highest I
supposed
can
to be
roll-
really hard to like get a deck of many things. It's not supposed to be like
Yeah.
you just walk
But
in the
that's what I'm
market
saying.
like, look at
yeah, 'cause
me,
the highest,
I got
I mean, the
Vecna's
highest I
hand.
can roll with no help is 35. So I guess.
So you
I mean,
get
I
a
have to have, like,
40.
bunch of people.
Yeah, so with a
Yeah,
40, you
even
get
then.
like a pretty amazing chance there. But like, yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be legendaries can be gotten easily. Like,
Yeah.
I think a 40 would get you like a very rare permanent item. Like these are just
Yeah,
rares.
probably. Okay.
But
I
again,
guess that makes
this,
sense.
yeah, it's not supposed to be like something that it's supposed to be like pie in the sky to get stuff like that from not questing. So anyway, do you want this cloak? Do you want to trade? What do you want to do?
Get it. See if you are you, offer
Your
the, I think
persuasion
often-
rolls don't work on the DM. I'm immune to Glenn.
I think you should get it. I mean, I think it's great if you can get him to knock down the price for the battle axe, but
I think, yeah. If Battle Axe isn't getting used, I think we should offer for this.
All right, you want to trade the battle
said
axe?
Yeah, because it was used by the avatar of the Raven Queen herself.
All right. and
yeah, it definitely
you
was.
give it.
yeah.
You give
it
it
at least
that,
stood in its presence many times.
that story. And this battle axe, I don't think has any markings. Give me a deception check, because I don't think she actually ever used this.
He stood in its presence and watched it being used.
She's definitely
Still
been
deception.
carrying it for a long time. And it does
Yeah.
have sentimental value.
All right. So
Yeah,
I'll
we don't
give
know what
you-
happened to our gnome.
I'll give you an
Yeah.
extra
And-
plus.
And let me know. I mean, like this is coming from Glenn, who travels with the avatar of the Raven Queen.
I'll give a plus to this roll. Oh. All right, so they'll knock 14,000 off the price.
Wow, really? Okay.
Well, it's a
4,000
rare.
and the battle axe.
It's a
right?
rare, or yeah, it's a rare for a rare, and I rolled
Okay.
that they want.
Okay,
Or
alright.
That's how
Great.
much
I
it's
think
worth to them.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so you
Um,
spend 4,000 and the battle axe, and make sure you minus those, and you get wings of flying added to. I guess Glenn
who's
is
putting
Glenn
those-
taking them.
I would say Uslog, because Uslog's probably going to be the one that would most likely use it.
All right, so
Yeah.
Uslog, go
Yeah.
ahead and add your new. Actually, that cloak looks really good for a Raven Queen person. That kind of
It does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Your aesthetic.
She would actually really like it. I love flying.
It's like, look at this style. Look at this drip.
Stylish.
This is some good Raven Queen.
I've got to
drip.
redraw all of my Uslug.
Uslug is entering her goth phase.
You gotta redraw Uslog.
Oh, she's been in her goth phase for a
Make
while
her-
now.
Make her even more goth.
It's not a phase.
Well, I guess I always thought of
You
her
tell me
wearing
what to
like
do,
leathers
Mom.
and stuff like browns, but now I feel like we're definitely
Oh.
switching you to the blacks.
Oh, silver and black is kind of how I
Silver, black,
picture
nice.
it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna need to make a song about Uslog flying.
Yeah, flying.
I mean, she's flown before,
flying
but
Death Queen.
this time she has wings.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Uslog.
Actually, I kind of
Alright.
feel like asking some friends of mine to recreate that cloak for Ren Fair now. Like the little like wing under the arm is pretty cool. Like the webbing.
Yeah, I'd wear that.
All right, Astra. Oh wait, I gotta see if anything else happens to Glenn. And do you want
also gets
any
different.
any scenes, Glenn? Are you doing anything during this week?
Probably just doing more training with Uslog when she has free time. And...
All right, so maybe
Testing
a
out the new
couple of
weapons.
days back at the inn or something. You guys do some sparring training.
Yeah. Building.
So during the week, as you are consorting with the Silent Circle, a person approaches you that seems to know that you've been trading in some expensive stuff, and they want to ask for a bit of money to help them fund a heist. 2,000 gold, and they are prepared to give you 50% of what they steal.
Remind me who the Silent Circle are.
That's the Thieves Guild. Or, sorry, 2,000 pale coin. That's the Thieves Guild that brought you in here.
Should ask our resident heist expert her take on this.
So it seems like this guy wants you to fund a heist. That could be dangerous if the city finds out you were involved if it goes poorly, but it could be very profitable depending on what they steal.
I mean, Glenn immediately was absolutely. I mean, that's his vote. I don't even need to hear anymore.
Well, I don't know that the rest
they
of
wouldn't
us- I
get
don't
a
think the
vote
rest of
unless
us
you're
were
bringing them in
there.
on it. Yeah, this would be your decision.
Yeah.
The question is, do you have 2,000 pale coin? In which case, you might have to bring at least Estrella in on this.
I'm getting asked personally.
Yes, this
Yep.
is you during your week of like talking to basically all the
And by
different
the way,
brokers.
It's Miriam's been subtracting the gold, but technically Uslug's carrying the gold around, not Estrella.
Yeah, that's fine as long as someone's subtracting it.
So then, who's carrying the pale coin?
Oh,
Uslug.
Uslog is
Okay.
yes.
I would go find Uslog.
Easy.
All right.
I mean, you could have just asked for the 2,000
Be
extra when
like,
you got the gold for your.
Hey,
cape.
Bae, can I borrow your credit card? Just want to do some shopping. All right, what are you saying to her? Sorry, I should shut up.
I'm like, Uslog, I have a great opportunity to get more pale coin and possibly treasure.
Oh. Okay.
It's an investment opportunity.
And who? Okay.
I found
More
this
information
Uslog
would
in- I found
maybe
this
be good.
Nicaraguan prince. Coming from the Silent Circle, they're going
Oh.
to
Okay.
they're gonna try and do a heist, and they're asking me to front the money to help fund the heist, and they'll give back 50% of whatever they steal.
I mean, we've had, pretty good relationship with them in the past.
Yeah,
Will they cover for us if they get caught or do something stupid? I mean, what are the risks here?
I mean, it may lead back to us, but I can always
Smooth
talk
things
my way out
over?
of anything. Yeah.
Sure. Go for it, Glenn.
All right, so
And
subtract 2,000.
She'll just take
right,
it.
I'm
Take
subtracting 2,000.
Let me see how this heist goes.
Consequences be damned.
yeah.
I know there's a heist thing. Where is it?
All right, we're down to 22,000 in pale metals. That's
Oh.
all the different metals, and so we did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like the really high rarity stuff, like was out of our price range, but like yeah, we got several things, and there's still a little left in case I find anything.
Wait, we're in another game when we at high level when we killed an ancient red dragon, and the gold horde part of it alone was like I think like 220,000 gold.
Oh wow!
So
Oh.
the hard part was to figure out like, okay, how do we get
How do you
out
carry
of
it?
the cave?
Yeah.
Like, we get out of the cave and store it somewhere safe.
Right. You take all the gems and stuff and make everyone fill their pockets to the brim, and probably have to leave some behind.
Yeah. I feel like we're actually fairly poor in actual gold.
Wait, is this
Yeah,
just crime?
it was actually the same way that the Monday group
This
was the
is just
same way. We
crime.
left so much pale gold back at the Twilight Sanctuary, but actually, I mean, we had a lot of gold in Teruvia too, but like it was more here, and we didn't get to do these shopping trips
Okay.
because we did not stop the new Havasguard ritual in that game. We tried, but we failed. So there was no shadow market for us.
Okay. That went pretty good, actually. That's 3 successes. Let's see. Complications. Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
All right. So it's towards the end of the week when you get or you're kind of getting ready for bed and you hear a frantic knocking at your door.
I would of course open it.
So the guy is there and he quickly gives you looks like some kind of art object, like an very old looking book. He says, "This is really valuable. I gotta leave town. My apologies." And he just runs down the hall of the inn.
Hide that shit.
A couple of people look out their door like, what the hell was that? Do you have history?
Not specifically trained, no.
All right, so you're not sure what this book is about, but yeah, you get a very old-looking book. Do you speak Elven?
Yeah.
So it looks like a journal of some kind. You don't recognize the name on it, though. You wonder if this is an old journal of someone of renown within the city. You probably would have to get one of your people with history to appraise it.
How late is it? Is it like are people asleep or?
Yeah, it's like midnight. That's why a
Okay,
bunch of
I
people
would-
looked out when the guy was running down
Okay,
the hall.
I would. I guess I just go back to bed and I would bring it to the party in the morning.
All right.
And was that at the end of the week that happened, or midweek?
That was towards the end of the week. The only other thing, unfortunately, because of some rumors that happen, the group loses 2 faction points with Devaldia.
Communism.
Communism.
Hopefully we gained like 1,000 for saving their sorry asses.
Right. But they don't know. Like, I don't think the general populace knows about it, right? Just like the church and
Yeah, the The rumors would be more among the elite of the city.
Oh no, I meant about us saving them.
Oh,
But yeah,
about you
gotcha.
saving the city? Yes, that's also known more from the elites of the city.
Yeah, so
So
like the
it works
general
against you.
population doesn't know that we saved them, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Estrella, what about you? You're doing
So
the
does
same
that
room?
affect my rolls, or is it late enough in the week that it doesn't? Or
No,
I don't
it
know.
wouldn't affect your rolls.
All right,
Actually,
so I'm
your
subtracting.
renown isn't high enough for it to do anything to these rolls. It's still like,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, it's still like decently low. I mean, you're in
Okay.
friendly territory, but it's not like you guys were like heroes of the city or something. Because unfortunately,
I'm
yeah, the
subtracting
city doesn't
600.
really know exactly what you did.
What do you gotta do to be heroes? Yeah.
And this was persuasion, right?
Yes.
All right, here goes. 13 plus 5, 18.
Okay. 18. So give me a D4. Okay. All right. So give me 2D100 rolls.
82 and 58.
All right. So one is a potion of longevity. The other, ammunition +3 again.
Oh,
Either of those interest you?
no.
All right. So that would be it then.
Well, hang on. I mean, I'm looking up what the longevity even is.
I could take a look.
Let's see here.
It gives you de-aging. It's kind of cool.
That's boring. And then, do we want more ammo, guys? Is it arrows again, or is it something else?
Estrella likes being an old woman. She doesn't want to de-age. It would be arrows.
I mean, she
again.
spent quite a bit of time on the astral plane, so she's a lot older than you think she is, and yeah.
She's earned that age, yeah.
She feels like she looks great for her age.
Those would be arrows, though.
Arrows, okay.
All right. So, do you want those?
No,
All right.
I hate getting consumables, and I always do. I mean, like not like we got some great stuff on the other rolls in this, some nice options that were kind of fun to ponder. But yeah, I in some of my other games, I keep doing this where I do the week of downtime and I end
So-
up with just consumables.
During the week, you are also approached by a rare herbalist merchant who is willing to sell you a bunch of his extra, basically wares for cheap, because he's trying to get rid of all his stuff before leaving town. He's willing to sell
a
you
going out of business sale, is it?
sort of. He's willing to sell you 3,000 maho of rare herbs for only 1,500.
And is someone looking for this loot?
He says, no, I grew all these, just didn't have as much business as I was hoping.
Well, sounds like a deal to me.
All right. So
You
you
said
make the
1,500
deal.
for
So
3,000?
1,500 for 3,000. Yes.
All right.
Now, did you, Glenn? Did you get that book appraised?
Yeah, if I had time, I would have.
Who are you going to get it appraised by exactly?
I guess I would check with Eli.
You have history, right, Eli?
I do.
All right. Give me a history check.
Oh.
All right. So your eyes widen a little as you know what this is, and you're very curious how he got it. Hang on. So you believe it's worth about 35k pale coin.
Small investment.
But you think this is, you're guessing this was stolen? Because this should be in a museum somewhere in the city.
Oh no.
There's no way we're gonna be able to sell this here.
So just the fact that he has this makes it very dangerous that he would be found with it. And if they have any idea he has it, someone might be looking for him.
Why are we purchasing stolen goods?
I didn't purchase it. I didn't purchase it. It was a gift.
Why are we accepting stolen goods as gifts?
Yeah, I didn't know it was stolen. It was just
That's a lie. It's a lie. You roll insight.
technically, he just ran by and gave it to me. It could have been
Roll insight.
It could have been completely unrelated to the heist. He never specifically
Maybe this
said
was
that
just
this
in
was
his
on the heist.
bathroom, and
What
he's like,
heist?
"I gotta get
Willing
rid of this."
suspension of disbelief.
No, I didn't. I said mice.
Oh, uh-huh.
Well, you think if you return it, you might get some, renown with the city, depending on how you play this. But you could also keep it and make a whole lot of money if you leave. You definitely don't want to. Well, I guess you could try to sell it here. That
If
might
you
be
can find
very-
a buyer.
Might be even the shadow market. This might be a little hot for. You're not sure they would. Any broker is going to want to have to deal with this.
I'm sure they'll be interested in it once the heat dies down.
Possibly, yeah.
Eli's gonna wipe his fingerprints off of it and hand it back to you.
Like takes a little rag. It's like, all right, here you go.
Thank you. I'm glad we're leaving soon.
Yeah, like I said, this would be worth a lot to a collector. It might be worth a lot to the city, but they're definitely not going to pay you for it. And you definitely don't want them to find out that you had anything to do with it being stolen.
Well, what if the city would give me more magical items?
You have allegiance
Alright.
to the people who did the heist.
I mean, I wouldn't say allegiance. I mean, that's a really strong word.
Alliance?
Return the book and turn them in.
And we wouldn't be able to go to the black market anymore.
Yeah, that might make the Silent Circle a little bit unhappy with you. Doesn't mean you'll be kicked out of the black market. But
Yeah, we have kind of been.
you also don't know if this guy did this as part of a Silent Circle job or on his own. You would guess on his own.
Okay. Yeah, it's
You
not
also
terrible,
just admitted that we're leaving soon. So what does it matter if we can return to the black market or not?
we can always go back. Pretty easy to come here. Spend some time shopping.
Okay, well, you carry that at your own risk.
Yeah, he kind of hides it under his shirt. All right, thank you for checking it out.
What session is this?
Yeah, alright. Yeah, just make sure you add it to your inventory.
All right.
I mean, if you mentioned to Uslog how dangerous it was, she would maybe suggest putting it in the bag of holding. But
So it can't be scried.
yeah,
This is session 191.
but I don't know if you're gonna say that.
As soon as Uslog is the very next person I'll be going to.
Hey, look what I bought.
Hey, can you hide this in the bag of holding and not tell anybody that we have it?
This is part of the consequences that I said be damned to.
Look, it was only 2,000 pale coins, and I just had Eli take a look at this, and he thinks it's worth like 35,000 pale coins.
What's this even about?
It's a
Kind of.
journal from some old elven dip. I don't know.
Sounds thrilling.
I know,
Um,
right? But for some reason, these dumbasses buy it for some collector dumbass would buy it for like 35,000. Apparently, it's also like really, really important to the city, and so like you just put it in the bag of holding.
Estrella would probably be very curious about this.
You know, do you think she'd be judgy?
I honestly don't know with her.
I would I'd take you Slug's hand and I'd lead her to go find a stray.
All right. So
I'm actually
like
curious about the
Glenn-
story.
I love that Glenn is giving this to Uslog to be like, hey, hold these drugs for me, so when the cops come, you take the fall, and I'm not responsible for any of that.
all right.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty secure, right? Right?
Yeah, Estrella.
So you it's towards the end of the week, so you find Estrella in the in the guest house where the rest of you are.
Hi.
Yes, Glenn.
So, hypothetical question: if I had something that was dangerous to have, that was also potentially interesting for you to research, but perhaps may have been gotten through certain means, would you be judgy about it, or would you be more interested in the item itself?
Does it involve allying with the Shadow Lords or providing them a vessel?
No.
Then yes, I'd love to see it.
Okay. And he'll
She
wait.
she didn't actually expect the answer to be yes. That was more just like a
Well,
statement about recent interactions.
he hands Estrella over this old journal.
Oh
Um,
my! What is this? She starts like kind of carefully
Journal,
flipping through the pages if it's old.
journal of some old elven dude that is apparently super, super important to this town, and we kind of
Oh.
stole it. So
Does
You
she
stole
have,
it.
Does she have history?
She does, and she speaks Elven, which I assume this is written
Go
in
ahead,
Elvish.
give me a. It is, yeah. Give me a
Okay.
history check.
both you and Eli are like, blah 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 blah.
So 10. Well, you don't know much about it, but as you're kind of skimming it, it does talk about things like the founding of Devaldia and fighting off a bunch of things to make the land usable by the church, and you'd understand why this is valuable pretty quickly.
I would very much like to read this a little more thoroughly. Do you think maybe you say that no one knows you have this?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, if you're gonna read it, I would probably suggest waiting until we get out of here.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe if we keep it in the bag for now, and
Yeah,
then
but
we can always return it later. But there could be some juicy gossip or interesting history in here. So I'd love to have a chance to read it, like during our camping the next few nights or so.
Alright, so as you guys are talking, you hear a knock at the door.
Into
I'll
the
hide
bag.
the book. Yeah,
into the just talking.
and hide the bag.
Alright, so if you go to the door, there are a couple of armed elves, armed Shatterkai, who would say, as they look at you, you're not sure who these guys are, but they would say, "Are you Glenn?"
Yes, the one and only.
Says, "We were told to bring you into the church. Some people wanted to talk to you."
Bye, Glenn. I'll stay here with Uslog and her bag.
Oh, they want to hear me sing again? I would love to.
Alright, so as expected, or go ahead. You saying something?
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying. I'm like, oh, the church wants to hear me sing again. All right, I'm down. I'll go with you.
All
I
right.
don't know.
You doing something new, Slug?
She was going to maybe once they stepped away, give Estrella the bag and follow.
All right. So
Oh, are
you're
you going
going
with him? All right, I'll keep this safe.
Well, if he's going to be performing, I want to see.
Right, understood. But it might be a questioning considering we don't know how he acquired his new treasures.
All right.
Just be ready.
A questioning at the church of the Raven Queen. Yeah.
So they bring you, I guess, both of you.
I'm gonna
Wow.
go find the others.
Actually-
Meanwhile, but yeah.
So they will request that Glenn comes alone, as some of the elders wish to speak with him in private.
Oh.
He's going to under like a zone of truth, 100%.
Right. But he's still my save.
All right.
Do you agree to that, Uslog?
That he goes alone
Yeah.
to interrogate. I mean, I guess I'd look at Glenn. I mean, just you think
I
this,
mean,
he can
what
get out of this?
questions do they want to ask?
The guard doesn't answer. He just says, I'm just told they wish to speak with you. I guess is what he'd say. So he would answer. He just says, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, that's fine. That'll be fine.
All
Get
right.
back to you.
So I don't want to role play this too
Okay.
much, but it quickly becomes apparent that there may have been some rumors about where this book may have gone. They do want to zone of truth you. How would you react to that?
You know,
Huh?
I would act offended. I would say after
Disrespect.
we literally saved this town from being destroyed by fucking Taras and
Alright.
outing the shadow cultists that came from your powerful noble family.
All right, go ahead.
They
Give me a deception. Like I said, we don't have to roleplay too much because we're getting low on time. All right. So they after your little speech, they decide they do owe you and they don't think you'd lie. So basically, they are questioning you about meeting this guy, and if you spoke to him, and I assume you're just going to completely deny everything, right?
Yeah, I would. If they to make the lie seem more truthful, I would admit, I'm not gonna lie, we had some dealings with the black market, and honestly, the items we got there helped us save this city. And I know you guys don't want to hear that. I know you don't like it. So, did we deal a little bit with the dark side? Yes, but no, I don't know this dude that was.
He says, we are aware of the shadow market's existence. We have allowed it to operate for similar reasons, is that there is a usefulness to it. Give me another deception check.
I mean, technically, he just told the truth.
Well, he's still lying about the guy,
Yeah.
I assume.
I'm just making it seem like I'm telling the truth by kind of implicating myself in something small.
Yeah. All right. So you talk to them for at least an hour or two as they grill you a bit. Although being a spy, you're probably used to this sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, you think you might have gotten rid of some suspicion. But yeah, you think that they still are not 100%. Well, actually, give me an insight check. Because that would probably be insight. Yeah, so you might feel a little bit of suspicion, but not enough that they're going to, like you said, you've done a lot for the city, so it's hard for them to think that you would be involved in this, as they wouldn't see why. But maybe some of the questioners might have a little bit of suspicion. But they do release you because they don't really have any hard evidence. And they're not necessarily just going to throw you in a cell.
Alright, I would make my way back to where everyone is, depending on, I don't know if Uslag was waiting or if she left.
Yeah, she was waiting. She was just chilling. She had no doubt that you'd get yourself out of it. She was just there.
He just kind of opens his arms like, hey, that type of pose.
Yeah.
I told you, it was a little bit longer than I thought.
It was maybe a little too close, but
yeah, saying it's hard to talk your way out of saying no to a zone of truth, but if anybody can do it.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
So-
glad I didn't have to use my Raven Queen
Your
thing
Raven
here.
Queen status. Alright.
Yeah.
You pull the Raven Queen card.
That's always uncomfortable.
She hates playing that
like name
card.
dropping someone. It's like, I don't like to name drop celebrities, but Raven Queen. Ring any bells?
What? But yeah, I think that does end the week, and we probably should call it here if you guys want to do MVP votes. Another heavy roleplay session.
I think they're pretty good though.
Yeah, I
Surprised,
actually prepared a whole bunch of really weird spells like before we started our shopping week, like just for like getting out of weird situations.
surprised to
And
hear.
so I was
Surprised to hear that coming from Malin. He's like, yeah, it's pretty good.
No, I like them a lot more than the combat at this point. It was really good.
Yeah,
Coming around.
all right, I got 3 votes.
It's really hard.
Mhm.
I know this was hard.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty split. But Glenn with 2 votes, your MVP.
Thank you.
It's your inspiration point.
Nobody can resist a good heist.
Yeah. It's not the
I'll
first time
fund your
Uslog's been
heist,
sort of
sir.
involved in a heist. It's not out of character for her.
Yeah, he rolled really well on the heist, but then really bad on the complication.
Lovely. You know what?
My question is though, if they stuck to their promise and gave you 50% of the spoils, why did they give you the hottest spoils?
Probably because he
That's
didn't
the
want someone
easiest.
using a locate object to find it.
Right. That's why we wanted to put it in the bag.
Sorry, Eli, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to cut you off.
It stays in the
No, no,
bag
no.
for this.
I was just saying. See, I'm just saying. Once a week, you should totally just run a Blades in the Dark campaign.
Who, me?
Yeah, you should do it. It's super fun. It's such a fun game, but nobody fucking runs it. Nobody there's nobody. The only people that run like non D&D game online are fucking joke GMs, basically.
Well, I would probably do either World of Darkness or like After the Bomb or something like Apocalypse related if I was going to do another system. Because those are probably my 2 other favorite systems that I still remember how to play.
Would you do something like Fallout or like Cyberpunk or Shadowrun? Those are kind of like.
I never played
You know.
Cyberpunk. I played Shadowrun. Didn't play Fallout.
I've been interested in either Shadowrun or Cyberpunk.
They're
I'm
very
told you can do a lot
similar.
of cool stuff in Shadowrun.
Shadowrun's more like what if D&D went into the future with like technology and whereas Cyberpunk is more just like all technology. Like I don't think there is any magic in Cyberpunk.
No, it's all tech.
True. Or like something, or maybe like Numenera. I don't know if you know that one, or just or like something super dark fantasy.
Or you could do
Like,
Paranoia.
Let me cut in real quick. GG's guys, I just have to head into the office tomorrow morning.
Alright,
Good night,
have a good
guys.
night.
Bye. Good
Right on.
night.
But yeah, or like something like super dark fantasy, or like 'cause I've always every time I try and get into a Grim Hollow game, and we do Shadow Session 0, I was like, all right, this is gonna be a super dark fantasy setting, if we're playing Grim Hollow, and then like 2 people have joke characters, and it's like, motherfucker. Like, I'm the king of rats, and then like I'm a little girl. Like, why? But yeah, anyway.
I've never played any of those. I did play or almost played Fragged Empire. I think it was called Fragged Empire. It wasn't dark fantasy. I think it was sci-fi, but it was the only like non D&D or Pathfinder game I played. I think.
Yeah, I really like as much as I love D&D for the classicness of it, like story-wise, like I like darker stuff and more realistic
Oh, I guess I
stuff.
played Vampire the Masquerade a little bit.
Oh man, I loved Vampire back in the day. Vampire, Mage, all the World of Darkness. Like the actual system was ass, but I love the story.
Yeah.
I would love to play something more story focused, like
The problem,
Spell
like
5R.
Yeah, the problem with that system is like you can build characters that just like win everything. Like it's not balanced at all. Like so.
I've never played it, but I've always heard somebody. I saw a video. Somebody basically said he's like most people that I talk to who played D&D 5th edition really should just be playing Exalted, and I don't really know much about Exalted.
Exalted's the superhero one, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the...
Or what is Exalted? Why does that sound familiar? No, I think the superhero one's something else. Yeah, I'm not sure what Exalted is. I know I've heard the name before.
It's a high fantasy role playing game originally published by White Wolf.
Oh,
Well,
is
that was the people that
that's
did,
the one? Okay, yeah. Which one is that? Because there's fairy, there's hunter, there's vampire, there's mage.
It's a high fantasy setting inspired by mythology, pulp fantasy, and Asian pop culture.
Okay, so
that
maybe
actively
it's
downplays elements in Token.
so maybe it's kind of like World of Darkness, but medieval times instead of modern or something. I don't know.
It says it's a game that's equal parts inspired by Beowulf and the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Conan, and the Words of Lord Dunsany, Final Fantasy, and Princess Mononoke.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of different things.
Interesting mashup. I just heard that because the guy I heard watch the video say that it's more like cinematic and more like storytelling focused. There's more like.
Well, like I said, although I don't know if how they changed White Wolf, because I know they redid a bunch of the rules, so maybe it's more balanced now. Like I remember, the thing that I loved about Mage is like there were no spells. You just had levels of like specialty in the different types of magics that kind of like gave you an idea of what you could do. And you could basically do anything. So like if you wanted to make a fireball, you could make a fireball. The thing was that if you did something and someone who wasn't a wizard saw you do it, reality got mad at you. So like basically if you're breaking reality and like you can't like it can't be explained to the watcher who's like connected to normal people, like yeah, I forget what it was called. It's like paradox or something. Like you start gaining paradox, which like do terrible things to you if it built up. So you could do these really crazy powerful things, but like if it didn't make sense and people saw it, like you could fuck yourself over. So like if you made an explosion, like there was a gas main there, the guy's like, oh, there's a gas main, it blew up. That's what happened. So like you had to have whatever you did magically like sort of make sense to have less of a chance of paradox happening or gaining paradox. It's a really interesting system, but like completely overpowered. Because like you basically do whatever, and it's really up to the GM to rein you in.
There's something like that in Blades in the Dark, since like I love the idea of just like you're a gang and you be a different like all different types, and the gang is almost a character in itself, but that you're essentially the two phases of the game is planning for the heist and then executing the heist, and then like because I remember I made it's very much a like Dishonored mixed with Peaky Blinders. And so I made like a Thomas Shelby, like Peaky Blinders, like mastermind type character that like did the planning of the heist, and it was super fun. And like doing the heist, and it's interesting because like so you have stress, and during the heist, you can like literally pull from a heist movie like Ocean's 11 and be like, oh man, this door is locked. Good thing I secretly picked the key and hid it in the plant over here. And the DM be like,
oh,
okay,
so it is
bullshit.
like a heist movie.
Yeah, I know, and
it's
the
like
DM
you
will
go
be
back
like,
in
okay,
time, like
yeah, I could be like, okay, because it's like you do a stress event, and the DM's like, and basically the more bullshit it is, the DM will be like, okay, it's gonna cost that. I'm like, that's super bullshit. Like that's like 8 stress, and you have like a total of 10 stress before like you're stressed out and you can't continue the heist anymore. But if it's something just like, oh, I loaded up my items, like you load up your loadout before the heist, and it's like, I forgot, I actually brought a lockpick kit with me that I forgot about, and it's like, okay, that's like 1 or 2 stress, that's not a big deal. But yeah, so you can like it really rewards creativity and like pulling stuff out of your ass that's like not super like out of there. But
Yeah, and that's sort of what mage was. There was like time magic, and there was like force magic, and there was like charm magic, and like you could do different things based on what schools you put points into, and you could put like low amounts into every school, so you could do pretty weak things in all of them, or you could like make nuclear blasts with your mind if you put enough into like force. Or like the crazy one like with time is like you could like rewind time, which was just completely ridiculous. But
yeah,
would
I've always loved time magic, and like anything I can make a time mage in, I'm yeah.
yeah, like low level time, it's like a moment might be able to like happen again or something, or like you could see things that like happened recently in an area. Like just look at the different weaves of time, stuff like that. And like high level time is like basically you can actually time travel and like make things happen again. But again, like every time you do that, it really starts to destroy you because like you can't really explain that,
Well,
like why
that's why
that's
I really like
happening.
that's why I like Chronomancer in D&D Fifth Edition. I mean, it not to that. I mean, obviously it's not as powerful to that extent, but you do feel like a badass time wizard because like you have all these reactions and especially once you get to the 14th 15th level one where you the convergence where you can just like basically make the roll whatever you want. It's like any roll within like 60 feet of me, I get to choose if it fails or succeeds. You know, but it costs a level of exhaustion, and I can do it as many times as I want. But
Yeah,
be
with
careful.
the old system, it was just rolling d10s, and you either I think you needed to roll a 7 or over to get a success on a d10, and you needed a certain number of successes for something to happen, which the DM would just have to like make up depending on how hard he thought it was. So like if you're attempting something super hard, like it just you have a dice pool that I forget what gives you your dice pool, but you have a certain number of d10s you roll, and you're looking to roll 7 or over, sometimes 6 or over if you like or a certain specialty. But yeah, you needed usually at least one success, and the more successes you got, the better outcome you had. You definitely didn't want to get, and I think if you rolled like a natural one, like you took away a success, it was pretty nasty. But anyway, I think I'm going to get going for the evening.
Good night.
Night, Lou.
Yeah, I'll see you all next time. Have a good week.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care.